Hello and welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. Thank you for coming to the stream that answers the question why will need get arrested. Today we are talking about the Israel, US, and Iran war. How have you been doing? Some personal news to start with. I submitted a few of my papers, like a few of the papers that I publish as part of my work. They're not out yet. They should be in like a few months. I will keep you updated in case whatever happens with regards to them. How are you doing, guys? We are officially live. Let us just quickly blast off. Where is the message? The message should have gone live. Yes, it is live. Perfect. Perfect. Let us do that thing on the... We are live. Perfect. Come fast. Leave a like. And subscribe. How are you doing, guys? How's your weekend? Mine has been very work related, mostly because I've been working on how to understand the conflict here, especially for you. How has been yours? We had a few couple of nice discussions on the Discord. By that way, I'm going to mention we have a Discord. You can Discord as seen down here, and you can get to the link over there. The link is also posted on the top. So don't be a stranger. Come on to the Discord. The Discord is open. I think the only thing we ask you of is like, are you a Sangi? If you're not, you're very well welcome. And this is LGBTQ free community. It is a safe space. People are going to ask for help. We help people as much as they want. It is fine. It is safe. It is managed actually by Bliss here, known as Slayer on the Discord. if you are here, if you're new, please do like, share, and subscribe. The subscription is, I think, required now if you want to chat. So I would highly recommend you to subscribe for at least a minute, and so you can chat here. The thing is, we had derailers before. I don't know if it's a good policy right now because, again, small. We'll see. Let's see. Not really sure. That's a good policy. Well, I'll change it later. Let's say. But still, don't forget to subscribe. I just don't know about YouTube as like the back end. I really need a producer here. I mean, Bliss is an amazing producer as she is, but she's much better as a friend and someone who handles mods. Okay, shit, sorry. We still need a professional producer. I mean, Bliss, are you my producer technically? I've never asked this, by the way. Oh, fuck, I forgot. We have enough light filtering in directly. So this is fine. I'm going to remove all of this later anyway, so don't worry about it. Would you consider yourself my producer, Bliss? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I think I consider you as one just for the sake. But I think we do need a producer. Producers, in my opinion, do like half the shit that I'm doing right now. Like on the side, like managing the setup and things, like I don't know. So I think we do need it. How would you define your position here? I'm like, you are my mod, you're my friend, you're like half of Papaksh as I see it for now, but how would you define yourself? We are just chatting right now, just so more people can filter in. We will start in a very timely manner, don't worry. I opened this can of worms myself, so I'm, hey, New Moon, how you doing? Do leave a like, don't forget, please. Well, let me just set up the camera again, because I think the camera needs more setting up. Like all morning today, I was literally like, okay, I need to get this done. I need to be very clear on what is happening. I need to have 100% output here. Okay. So I was like not setting up anything, not doing anything. I was just solely focused on the information and how to get you a very well curated show. Which is it is not going to be as much, but fine. In case I am active on Discord, Twitch, and what was the last one? Twitch and YouTube, and paste links, and yeah, that's a producer's bliss. So I don't. That's a lot. Like, okay, this is bliss by how she is like every time. Okay, I'm going to be very calling you out a lot. So that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. So that's producer. Do you not realize how much you actually do? Like seriously. Like you can ask New Moon what do they think? Because that's a lot. Maybe eventually we'll get a producer. Eventually we'll get like a media manager, honestly. Like my managing of media is horrendous. Like horrendous. Like guys, did you know we had a Reddit? We have a Reddit. And the Reddit that we have is, I have never said anything about it on stream because I keep forgetting. Like we need a media manager here. We also have a Discord. We also have a Twitch. We also have a YouTube. And we have an Instagram. So shit, I forgot Instagram. See the problem? Why we need a media manager? I can't list you the amount of things we actually have, and it just whatever, guys. So much happening already this year. Going, Iran isn't taking BS from Israel and US. Though. It cannot. It cannot take BS from them. The problem is with Iran, it is basically surrounded at this point. It has no out other than just to fight it out. It is a real sad thing for Iran. It is very sad. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share the stream. We are dependent on your love. Need to put a link tree on priority? Yes, the link tree needs to be on priority. Guys, if you do not support us, we will be non-existent, and your news is not going to come as fast as possible. Because we are honestly the ones getting the news out the fastest here. On if it happens on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday. Like, I don't really give a like, we don't do anything on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That news is like one day later. So for your news updates that are immediate on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, subscribe now. Hezbollah is in no position to fight. That is true. Hezbollah hasn't been in a position to fight for a while. So it is not going to fight. The issue with Iran right now is that, like, rather the issue for America with respect to Iran is like, even if they want a regime change, even if they kill Khomeini, they are not going to be able to do a regime change because unlike Venezuela, it is not ruled by a technical dictatorship. The regime can still sustain, the Ayatollah regime can still sustain itself without Khomeini. They'll just bring up another one. It's like the same thing I was talking about like 2-3 days earlier on, like, if you want to like defeat Modi, you can defeat Modi easily. Even if he passes away tomorrow, it's not going to make a difference because the issue is the RSS. They'll just put up Modi 2.0. This, I'm just giving this an example. I'm not making a direct comparison here. Like, Modi is far worse than Khomeini. The point here is that if America wants to do a regime change that it has been willing for so long, I mean, to be fair, Israel wants to do a regime change, it needs to inflict damage to the entire base of support, not just like one person. By the way, there is conflicting reports of Israel that say that Ayatollah is dead, and Iran is reporting that Ayatollah will hold press. Yeah, exactly. I've been seeing it. I've been seeing it right now. Like, literally, like, it's open next to me right now. So yeah, there is like live chatter about everything. This happens all the time. This will happen until the very end. Like, every time there is no news by the like supreme leader of Iran, they're going to claim he's dead. It's a way to break like the it's a way to break confidence of the public in the regime of Iran. Like, they are not getting their news directly, they're getting all of this news as well. That's why it is extremely important to control the media, especially in this scenario. This is a way to get support. Like, people are going to think, oh, America, Israel killed the leader of Iran, so it is succeeding. It is also like a narrative creation for Israel. Like, look, we have done this, we are done this, you have to keep hope. Even if tomorrow he's like, oh, if he comes back in and like he addresses nation, it becomes like, oh, look, he survived, but the attack was direct on him, not like the people of Iran, even though 51 students have just been killed. Also, Iran and Indian students are like, oh, hold on, there's hold on, what is this?
Currently, I'm in Tehran.
So we are just switching to this quickly because I want to talk about this immediately because of the importance of the matter. Is that the Indian students in Tehran are requesting Indian government's help. I don't think they are going to help, mostly because even with Ukraine, they did not help. They were requested to walk across the Ukrainian territory and come into Poland and communities on the side. I think Israel and United States will be Carney's biggest foxpa in his time as prime minister. Hi, do like and share and subscribe. Iconic yo. Carney, as in Canadian Prime Minister. Sure. We'll get to Carney in a bit. Give me a moment here. Carney's fair game. I'm still focusing on what is happening. First, we are just started, so we're just introducing the matter. This is just urgent that has been come up to my feed right now. So I'm just like, the situation is dire. Indian government needs to help. I don't think they are going to help. Also, yes, Carney is supporting the attack.
The situation here feels really worse and uncertain. We really don't know what's going to happen next. We're really grateful that the Government of India and the Ministry of External Affairs are in discussion for our safety. But in the times like these, speed matters a lot. I'm not even able to say these things because the airstrikes are happening and it's getting really worse for us. We just request for the quicker and clear evacuation as soon as possible. Please do not wait for the situation to get worse. Just help us. Just get us out of here as soon as possible. Hi everyone, I'm an Indian student and currently I'm in Tehran. The situation here feels really worse and uncertain. We really don't know what's going to happen next.
See, we need to get them some help, seriously. Like, Indian government is very lacking when it comes to helping Indian students in need. Indian government has left Ukrainian citizens as well when the Ukrainian invasion had started. They did not get them out. I like, even if they release the Papa video, it doesn't matter, because if you were here, you would know the truth that the Indian government kind of fucked over people. That's all there is to say about this. So this needs immediate attention. Let's get to the main point here. Also, Iconic Kyo, do like, share, and subscribe. We are going to go through what happened, how it started, and then we are going to go talk about just what Trump said, what Iran is saying, what Israel is saying. Israel is saying the same thing since 30 years. Anyway. So this is the Trump speech. This is the Trump speech, and we are going to talk about it. Oh, fuck. I hate listening to Trump as much as I hate listening to Modi.
Time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Iran has not invaded anyone. Let's just be clear. Iran was invaded by Israel and the US, and multiple US invasions within the Middle East on the behalf of Israel. Let just that be clear.
Its menacing activities directly endanger the...
Guys, if you're new here, please do like, share, and subscribe to the stream. We are helped and supported by your love for it. I do not ask for money. I do not ask for donations. I ask you to subscribe and share. Do like the stream as well. Thank you so much.
United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries.
It has not. Just to be clear.
Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were...
This goes to just suggest what were Americans doing in the Middle East?
Were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have
What happened here?
soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon.
Guys, do not forget to like the stream and share and subscribe to the stream. Thank you so much. Your support is extremely important for the stream to survive. Thank you.
I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow.
See, he's talking about how they obliterated the nuclear program last June, and now they are attacking again because they think they have nuclear weapons. Make it make sense. Did you obliterate or no?
Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried.
Again, the JCPOA or the Iran nuclear deal was scrapped by Trump. By Trump. And then he's been trying to say that they are making a deal. They are not making a deal. Iran wants a deal. Iran does not want nukes, which is not really nice because Iran should have nukes because they keep getting attacked by America and Israel. Like, that is one of the... Jesus fucking Christ. Like, okay, this is my first F-bomb. Seriously, I'm trying to be better. Sorry, guys. He won't talk about US shooting down Iranian civilian jet. Yes, he will not be talking about any of that. Also, send me the news article on Discord, please. Again, we have a Discord if you want to join. It is posted on the chat. Yeah, he's never talking about any of that. Also, he's also never talking about how he scrapped the JCPOA. It's a Iranian nuclear deal. Iran has been following through with it. It did not want any of this shit. Israel wants this. Israel wants a regime change. Iran is willing to play ball, has been willing to play ball since the very beginning. It is Trump who keeps saying no. It is Israel who keeps saying no. It is not Iran.
They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't.
Back and forth is literally Trump. That is not Iran.
Want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused.
Again, when you talk about practicing evil, this guy has been mentioned over, 13,000 times in the Jeffrey Epstein files? Practicing evil right there.
As it has for decades and decades, they've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe.
JCPOA was scrapped by this man.
Our troops stationed overseas and could soon reach the American homeland.
It cannot reach anywhere. The Iranian missile facility is only for within its region. Their range does not extend towards Europe. Their range does not extend toward southern point of Saudi Arabia. Their range does not extend that far. It's never reaching America, by the way. And you want to know how many troops, American bases are there around Iran? Where is this? No, not this. All of these dots, all of these dots, all of these dots here, all of them are US controlled bases operation for over 15 years. Here. Why is there US controlled bases all here, you might ask? I might ask the same. There is more reason for Iran to be afraid of America than there is to America to be afraid of Iran. And yet, Iran is playing ball. And yet, it was not the one who scrapped the JCPOA. It was it was not even America, it was Trump. It was US international policy that scrapped the JCPOA.
Just
And now you're just
imagine how
invading another country.
emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests.
Why would Iran put its own country near American bases? Iran is so wrong. Yeah, exactly. Why would Iran put its bases next to American bases? Put its country next to American bases. I know, right?
We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans.
What? What?
And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will...
They should definitely have a nuclear weapon after this. Like, if I was the head of the Iranian regime, I would be like, we are getting a nuke. I don't care. At this point, they attack us for not having one. We might as well have one. On the other hand, the only country that has not signed the nuclear deproliferation treaty is Israel. It has constantly said no to people coming in and checking if they actually do or do not have a nuke. I guess we here are just supposed to sit and watch while the US invades another country on a false pretense.
Soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first...
The military hates him, by the way. Just to be clear.
...administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties.
He's literally saying, fight for me, bitches. Your lives are mine. Fuck off. We are going to have casualties of American troops, and I don't give a fuck.
That often happens in war, but we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission.
It is
We
not
pray
a noble
for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God
Jesus,
to protect
nuclear-armed
all
Iran
of
is
our
never a
heroes
concern.
in harm's
Bro,
way.
He himself cancelled the JCPOA, by the way. He himself went out and cancelled the damn thing. That was the whole point of the JCPOA, the what was it? Joint Conference Nuclear, whatever. I don't remember. Like, it was a nuclear deal. Hold on, let me just check. Okay, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action with Iran. So Iran doesn't proliferate its nuclear tech. Bro cancelled it himself. Not even kidding.
And we trust
It
that
was peaceful. You know who didn't want it to be peaceful? Israel. Israel wanted to attack Iran. Americans can threaten Iranians, but retaliation is bad according to him. Exactly. Every single colonial force says it. Retaliation is always looked at negatively by the stronger party. When it's weaker party, retaliation is always retaliation by a weaker party is always looked at as a threat by the stronger party, and especially the invading one here. No matter what, like what is happening in Gaza. If Hamas retaliates for the indiscriminate bombings by Israelis, they are called the terrorists here. But the Gaza genocide and the oppression and the colonization has been going on since 1948. 1948. By the time India got its freedom, Gazans were in a colonial rule. Since then. And then every time they retaliate, they try for freedom, they go out for freedom, they do whatever, they're called terrorists. Israel has killed more peaceful protesters, more peaceful politicians asking for even a working two-state solution, by the way. The current two-state solution does not work because Israel keeps pushing the border back. The Gandhi of Gaza was killed. The Gandhi of Gaza was killed by Israel. That's why you see a Hamas now. That is the difference.
That with his help, the men and women of the armed forces
Two-state solution ended decades ago. It didn't even start. Two-state solution, like this was like a 1960 interview with the then head of defense secretary of the defense secretary of Israel. He was like, what is your plan, like a border plan? And he was like, inch by inch.
Prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity.
What happened with Iraq, by the way? Has anyone talked about Iraq, how a puppet leader was installed in Iraq and Iraq has been still suffering against the oppression of the US?
Or you will
also, when we're talking about, check this. USA General Ford moving to Middle East, but its toilets are clogged. Clogging toilets is a sign of a revolt within the army, saying that we don't want to be party to this. He's lying when he said the US military is backing him. They are not. The Congress has not given an okay for this anyway.
Face certain death. Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere.
Yeah, on their homes as well, by the way. They recently killed, 51 students. Students.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your
any time, whenever America has taken control of a region, has given the control back, remind me.
Only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass.
Also, the reasoning for this, there's all saying because they are developing nuclear weapons. That's Israel's narrative.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year.
Just being clear, this is not AI.
Could be
I've seen this
within a few
before
months.
AI.
They have the wherewithal the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very
And you can tell this is Netanyahu speaking because of his distinctive, like, Dumbo ears.
quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not stopped, Iran could produce.
Guys, this is the situation here. I mean, Trump has a very good response to him, to be honest with you.
Will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate.
See, that is what Trump was saying in 2011 to Trump in 2026.
He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Our president will start.
What am I supposed to say here, guys? Guys, this is like Trump is basically America's Modi. Modi has so many speeches that go on like, the price of like the rupee versus the dollar is bigger than your age now. And look at what the price of the versus the rupee is right now. It is literally the same shit. These people do not have an ideological policy. They are not smart. They are just there because they are rich or got lucky or have the support of a rich billionaire. Jesus Christ, they are just all the fucking same. Sometimes can't. Anyway, going back to what is happening, we have Ro Khanna who's trying to... So Ro Khanna is someone who has been fighting against the Trump regime to open up Epstein files.
Donald Trump has launched a war on Iran. The Congress must reconvene on Monday to vote on Thomas Massie and my war powers resolution to stop this war.
Khamenei didn't able to catch that, heard some rumor news. Yes, we don't know if he's alive or no, but that is a rumor spread by Israel. Israel said they killed him. But that is always a tactic that they use over and over again. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to rumors right now. That's what I would say. Also like the stream and share.
Trump says his goal is to topple the Iranian regime. But the American people are tired of regime change wars that...
Hold on, what is wrong with... Okay, this is gone again. Give it a second, guys. Give it a second. This shit doesn't work always.
War, the Iranian regime. But the American people are tired of regime change wars that cost us billions of dollars and risk our lives. We don't want to be at war with a country of 90 million people in the Middle East. Every member of Congress must go on record today on how they will vote on Thomas Massie and my war powers resolution. Donald Trump.
That is true. American Congress people need to just start doing something. On the other hand, Indians are like, we are just talking about it for fun at this point. India has no standing in here. It has no say whatsoever. In a way, it's good because a regime like India should not really have a say in any of this. The BJP regime imagine BJP regime having a say whether or not to attack Iran. Like bro was just sucking up to Israel yesterday. On that note, they might have actually used him. Where is this? Hold on. Geez, where is this? Yeah. So we all like, there is this news posted by Siddharth. Israel decided the date of its aggression on Iran weeks ago, lured gullible Narendra Modi to visit Israel on the very eve of this attack. This is so funny if true. They literally called him to show that Iran, we have the support of the partner that you're supposed to have. He's so gullible. Jesus Christ. This is one of the reasons why he should not have gone there. The Modi is just like whatever. Anyway, so this is one of the things that Israel has done. It has killed around 40 people, 51 or 61 by now. They dropped a bomb on a school, by the way. They are not friends of Iranian people, obviously. They do not care about the Iranian people. Why would you do this on a school? This is Israel level tactics of decimating and ethnic cleansing. Jesus Christ. There's a lot of death coming up in the Middle East right now. I just wish people are safe. Just wish people keep safe. Anyway, yeah, we were going to live updates on what is happening. Live updates are open here, so we'll get to it when we get to it. Either Modi is stupid or he did all this knowingly, both bad for India. Iranian people, yeah, I mean, Modi is stupid, I would argue. I think that works more in this scenario. Iranian people will be even more anti-US now. We can hope that it is the scenario for their own good, but there's some systematic issues within Iran as well. Like, I am not 100% with the Iranian government, but if you want to do a regime change, this is not the way to do a regime change. Like, if Iranian people wanted to do a regime change right now, if they do it through this, it's only going to lead to disaster. America is going to make Iran hollow and leave the people without any money or even food, like with no way of sustaining themselves further. It's going to be horrendous. They have tried this before. The guy that is up for like, oh, I'm going to be the puppet from Iran, Pahlavi, he literally is the son of the last puppet Iran had. And they are trying to reinstate him again. That is bad. I don't know, maybe they end up like Venezuela, where Machado got sidetracked and now the new guy, Darcy, is in place instead. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Anyway, we are just covering this. Also, by the way, Netanyahu has fled Israel. That's his plan. He's probably going to Greece. He hides in Greece every time shit goes bad. I'm not even joking. Last time Iran attacked, he went to Greece again. This is Trump again. Ah, yeah, this is just morning news show for CBS. Let's check what Americans are thinking and saying. We'll go to what Indians are doing as well and how this reflects on Indians. But it takes time. We'll get there.
Yes. And I'm Kelly O'Grady. We come on the air this morning with breaking news. Overnight, the United States and Israel began striking targets inside Iran. The attacks began in daylight, just after 10 a.m. local time. Explosions rocked Iran's capital, Tehran, and large plumes of smoke were seen near the offices of Iran's supreme leader.
In an address posted to Truth Social, President Trump confirmed U.S. involvement, saying major combat operations are underway, and the objective is to defend Americans by eliminating, quote, imminent threats from the Iranian regime. The United States has built up a massive military presence in the Middle East over the past few weeks as the president has pressured Iran to abandon its nuclear program.
This morning, Iran state television says it has launched a counterattack on U.S. bases across the Middle East. Israel is on heightened alert, with cities canceling school and closing workplaces this morning. Let's begin our coverage with CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata, who is in Tel Aviv. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Kelly. At roughly 8:20 this morning here, as you said, around 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in Tehran, air raid sirens rang out, alerts across Israel on our phones. And that was not incoming missiles, but a warning to Israeli citizens that a war was underway. Stay close. Take to shelters, stay off the streets. As you said, schools were closed. It was described as a joint military operation between the United States and Israeli forces, a preemptive strike. Explosions were then reported in Tehran and in 4 other cities across Iran. Israeli officials confirmed that dozens of strikes were launched targeting like Iranian government buildings, regime targets, Iran's ballistic missile arsenal, and launch sites. Now, within maybe 30 minutes or so, the air raid sirens rang out again here. That was the counterattack that was already underway. Residents were instructed to take shelter. We then started learning and confirming that Iran had begun targeting U.S. military installations across the region. The headquarters of the 5th Fleet in Bahrain, the Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain, the largest U.S. airfield in the region, in the Middle East, Al Udeid in Qatar. The Qataris saying that they intercepted a couple of incoming missiles there. Explosions then heard in northern Iraq at air bases there. And then alarms sounded in Kuwait and other parts of the UAE. Now, after this massive U.S. military buildup that we've been reporting for days and weeks, in rounds of diplomacy with Iran, keeping everybody guessing as to what was about to unfold here, there was no ambiguity or disambiguity in President Trump's message today. This is about regime change. He's telling Iran's military to lay down their weapons, don't try to fight back or face certain death, spelling out a litany of attacks against U.S. forces in this region, going back to the attacks on the Marine barracks in Lebanon, attacks throughout the Iraq war, Iranian-backed attacks on U.S. military, telling Iranian residents to take shelter, get low until the bombing's over, and then overthrow the government. That's what we're looking at this morning, Kelly.
They really can't overthrow the government this way. It is completely pointless. Iranian regime does not work on like authoritarian, dictatorial, or like one person focused like government like Venezuela. They have to overthrow the entire thing or it won't get overthrown. That is the problem that US is facing right now, which is why it is not going to happen in my opinion.
Charlie, a lot of us remember the U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran back in June. How does this attack now compare to that in terms of scale, and what could happen next?
Yeah, Kelly, I mean, this is next level. It's on an entirely different scale. You know, we reported that. That was the Iranian attack against that against that base in Al Udeid. That was pre-warned. U.S. forces knew that was about to happen, and it was a big attack. I mean, they had launched the largest Patriot missile defenses against those incoming missiles, and again, they knew it was coming. What we're seeing here, when I talked about that attack at the 5th Fleet in Bahrain, at Al Udeid, at U.S. forces in northern Iraq. This is on a scale and a level with no warning, going after essentially everything that they can go after. And I also have to mention, the United States and Israel isn't just going after targets inside Iran. We're also learning that they're going after Iranian-backed militias inside Iraq. So this has spread. You talk about Kuwait, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, the attempted attacks in Bahrain, Al Udeid, and the amount of missiles that are being fired. And here, we've had to take shelter maybe 5 or 6 times, I think, this morning. So this is on the next scale, nothing like what we saw last June.
Charlie Dagenett in Tel Aviv, we are so grateful to have you on the ground bringing us this information. We're going to check back in with you soon. All right, well, this morning we've already heard from President Trump that the U.S. has begun major combat operations in Iran. The president said the strikes were aimed at destroying Iranian missiles and taking out Iran's Navy. We go now to CBS News White House correspondent Willie James Inman, who's in Florida traveling with the president. Good morning.
Hey there, Kelly. Good morning to you. The president posting overnight that video message on Truth Social announcing the U.S. military operation in Iran. And he also mentioned that American lives could be at stake here because as a result of the operation that the Pentagon is calling Operation Epic Fury.
Jesus, they have such bad names as well. Guys, if you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe this to the stream. It is your love that keeps us alive and keeps us doing what we are doing. If you want to be part of this, you can be part of this through Discord. The Discord link should be posted over there. We also have a Reddit and an Instagram under the same name. You can easily find it. Just Google, or you can do Instagram, YT if you're on Twitch, Discord. for the codes. You will get them immediately through the night bot.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat and very dangerous.
And Iran have been involved in those indirect talks and negotiations about Iran's nuclear program. Just this past week, Steve Witkoff, the special envoy for President Trump, and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, were in Geneva, Switzerland. You see the picture there, talking about ways to curb Iran's nuclear program. Now, the Omanis were handling and mediating these conversations. The Omani foreign minister had essentially talked about an optimistic way that the U.S. and Iran could somehow come to an agreement in an interview with our own Margaret Brennan just yesterday. It's unclear what happens to those talks now amid this strike that we have seen play out in the past couple of hours. And we are, of course, waiting to hear from President Trump. He could, of course, make a public statement. But in the past couple of days, he has expressed frustration, essentially saying that he's not happy with the progress of those negotiations and conversations thus far. And we are seeing some congressional reaction following these strikes by the U.S. and Israel. A close ally to the president, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, posting this. He said, "The end of the largest state sponsor of terrorism is upon us. God bless President Trump, our military, and
Jesus fucking Christ, Lindsey Graham is the fucking bitch.
Our allies in Israel." We're getting some Democratic response as well from Arizona Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego, who's an Iraq war veteran. I'll point out, he says young working class kids should not pay the ultimate price for regime change and a war that hasn't been explained or justified to the American people. We can support the democracy movement and the Iranian people without sending troops to die. Now, we are learning that Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is also the National Security Advisor, has notified at least some of the so-called Gang of Eight, those top members of Congress who are notified oftentimes in these national security situations. We are also learning via our reporting from our own Nancy Cordes, via a person familiar, that some of these members were surprised by the scale and scope of this operation, saying we didn't have a hint that the strikes would be so expansive or the goals would be so broad, alluding to the possibility of regime change and the scope and scale of this operation that we have seen thus far. Now, we have reached out to the White House for comment. We have not heard back at this moment. And as I mentioned, the president could make another statement, another public statement at any moment today. But at least for now, there are no public events.
US presidents have just been a different version of George W. Bush. Yes, that is because the international policy or the foreign policy for the US has been consistent throughout the ages. Like, for example, reinstating Judge JCPOA right now. Biden did not do it because Trump had put in like not to do it. They could have re-ratified the treaty if they wanted to. They did not.
On his
because
schedule.
American policy is so much focused on what Israel wants, foreign policy especially, that like I don't think even it is in like US's hands at this point. They follow what their masters are saying.
Willie James Edmond, thank you so much. For more, let's go to CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd in our Washington newsroom. Sam, good morning. So our viewers are waking up, seeing this enormous news and wondering why now.
Well, Adriana, the Iranian regime has terrorized not just its own people, but Americans for almost 50 years with its support for surrogate networks or proxies, its development of its nuclear program, its ballistic missile program, and more. Why now? According to the administration, the Iranian regime has retained its focus on developing its missile program, its support for proxies, and importantly, its nuclear program. As you may recall, the Obama administration did negotiate a deal to curb the development of Iran's nuclear program, to limit its enrichment capabilities and of the material needed.
Take the summary of MOU signed by India and Israel sent on Discord. Yes, that is exactly what I'm checking right now. The US military industry is the largest part of the government. If war happens, they get money. That is exactly true. It is not just that, Zakrid. It is also what Israel wants within the region. Israel wants to take over territories all around it. For it needs no person to be able to oppose it. And the only opposition right now left is quite literally Iran. And the US military complex as well makes a lot of money from this. Also, if you're new here, do like, share, and subscribe. Please. Thank you. It would be really helpful. Lemo, CBS News is parroting government propaganda. Yes, CBS News has been taken over by the lobbies. Like it recently got sold, right? If I'm not wrong.
For a bomb. President Trump was not satisfied
Again,
with that
yes,
agreement.
Bliss, I'm
He tore it
checking.
up and
I
has
need
been
a
quite
summary for it,
frustrated
honestly. It is way
about
too big
how
and
the
I can't.
Iranians have
Also, yeah, Bliss, I'm trying to read what you sent. It is way too long and it is not. I need a summary for it on the stream. I could have read it off, to be honest.
reportedly engaged in the diplomatic negotiating process, along with their ongoing development of ballistic missiles and support for proxies that have targeted Americans.
Well, and so, you know, I mean, we're talking about the possibility of sort of a long-term type of thing here. I do have to question, I was surprised, Sam, when I heard the president.
Yes, they are basically sending 50,000 people to Israel for job. No, yeah, that is true. That is, I think we covered that already. Like, I'm not joking. Okay, hold on. So yes, they are sending 50,000 people to Israel for a job. And, you know, we predicted that like 2 months ago. I'm not even joking. Someone go back and check. We'll bring up the video. God damn it. Everything we fucking predict is already coming true. There is nothing apart from this. Yeah. Don't worry about it. We basically already did cover it.
Use the word warning of casualties, use the word war. What could this mean for Americans on the home front? Because we see something happening so far away, but what is the possibility for any kind of threat here at home?
Well, Kelly, let's start with what we can see. What we can see is that the United States and Israel are engaged in a decapitation operation against really a hit list of targets inside of Iran, military intelligence and other figures. What we can see as well is that they have a military buildup that will allow them to continue those military strikes for some time. We can also see that Iran is retaliating with missiles. Iran has the ability to strike not just in the region, but also into Europe. So Americans are
Again, Iran does not have the ability to strike Europe. It just does not. The best it can do is strike Israel. That is, I think, that's their biggest issue.
Currently in the range of Iranian missiles. It is also worth noting, however, Iran retains significant cyber capabilities that could implement attacks all over the world and has continuously invested in surrogate networks here in the homeland and all around the world that have historically been quite successful, unfortunately, in targeting Americans. We could also see, and it's too soon to tell, a spike in commodities prices, namely oil, if key maritime corridors like the Strait of Hormuz are impacted by what is likely going to be a prolonged conflict in the region.
Sam, the president made very clear that what he wants to see is the Iranian people rise up and create regime change. What will it take for that to happen? And why do you think the president is putting the onus on the Iranian people versus in Venezuela when the U.S. went in on the ground?
Well, what we don't know is if the United States is engaged in any kind of covert action operations to try to convince members of the regime to switch sides. So we have this public overt messaging to the Iranian people, and ostensibly there could be accompanying covert action operations, influence operations, and otherwise to try to convince members of the regime to switch sides. The president did also directly message members of the regime and say if they lay down arms now, they will be granted amnesty. The leadership structure in Iran is such that we obviously have the supreme leader who has been in hiding and underground for some time. We have the president, and then we have key security officials like the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the head of the Ministry of Intelligence, and others who are critical to responding to these strikes by the United States and Israel and maintaining the actual stability of the regime. So it will certainly take a lot of pressure on the regime through military strikes. There's been sanctions for some time, as well as more than likely other lines of effort and covert action to try to convince key regime figures to lay their arms down, so to speak, and to leave the regime.
Sam, appreciate your time and expertise this morning.
Okay. Oh, by the way, this is Israel. For anyone who's Indian here, you're going to very much appreciate this correlation. That's our first Prime Minister, by the way. You're going to absolutely love this. If you're Indian, this just speaks to you. I just can't sometimes. It's fucking stupid. Like, guys, you have to understand. Jesus. It's just so fucking stupid. These guys are idiots. These guys are fucking idiots. Either way. Where were we? Before getting derailed from the conversation, we have they're just basically attacking. Drop set reports that 3 strikes. This was the first strike. To counter this, Iran has actually attacked multiple bases around Kuwait. One base around Kuwait, in Qatar, in Bahrain. I don't remember if they attack UAE. They're attacking American bases, taking them out to make sure that there can be no more retaliation against them. But this, again, has infuriated the supreme leader of America, Israel. Yeah, Aparijit movie is the best. Yeah. This is Iraq WMD thing all over again. It is always about WMDs. Like, it is the talking point of goddamn Netanyahu since like the 80s. He keeps screaming, there are so many WMDs within the region. Like, even at a single point of time, if he was right, he wouldn't have attacked. I'm not even joking. He does not attack places he thinks has WMDs. He only attacks places that there are none. That is the fact here. That those are the facts here. There was this coverage I wanted to, but fine, whatever. So there is some updates with Keir Starmer is holding emergency meetings. It says it will continue Iran strikes as long as we need. That is until the Ayatollah falls, according by what I'm thinking. Or America says that's enough because Trump is losing coverage. Footage. Oh shit. So this is the footage of Bahrain getting hit. There are again, as we said before, there are multiple bases around, like Bahrain's, there are multiple bases here and there. Is going to be Blair 2.0? Yeah, maybe. I'm not really sure. Yeah, Keir Starmer. See, Keir Starmer is not useless, I would argue. He is like a puppet. He's literally a puppet. He's a puppet for Trump. When he won, it was said that, oh, he's going to be so good. He's literally a puppet. Yeah, Trump's, it is about a regime. They have been consistently saying it is about regime change. What Bliss was talking about is India sending 50,000 people in Israel. India has been sending people to the front lines of wars for exchange for like goodies for their favorite industrialists, Adani and Ambani. They have signed MOUs with Russia as well. They have signed MOUs with Israel. Anyone who's doing anything bad and need bodies to be killed, the Indian government has sent people to support that. We are throwing Indian bodies on the front line for them to be killed. That is it. All of the MOUs are for that. These are the vanguard. These are the shields for the soldiers. They don't care if lives are taken. Anyway. Military base in Bahrain exploding. It's also a checkmate to Russia. Russia and Iran has a defensive pact. Yes, it does. It is not a checkmate, I would say. Like, Russia does not give a shit. I'm sorry to say. They might have a defensive pact. Russia is not entering this. It is already has its hands full on the Ukrainian front. This is and again, even if there is a pact, Russia also trades with Israel. It is the same why China is not going to come up and say anything against it or send like military openly against this. Because even China wants to keep trading on with these countries. They don't care. Iran effectively has been on its own. One of the only friends it used to have was India. Yeah, Russia is not going to do shit for Armenia either. Like, it's like Russia is not a good person in here. They are not going to come save anyone's ass. It is still a country. We are not talking about a USSR, by the way. USSR was different. Russia is a capitalist country at the end of the day. It is going to save its own ass far more than anything else. It is never going to take a stand. Last week, Afghanistan said they would help too, but it won't do so much. Yeah, I mean, Afghanistan is Taliban at this point. It is not something to be trusted. Plus, it has been said that the Pakistani attack on Afghanistan is so that they are too busy fighting their own war rather than helping Iran. But I wonder how much they can actually support Iran. I don't know. Like Iran has, Iran has support, used to have support of Pakistan as well. Pakistan has said it would protect Iran with its military nuclear capacity. I do not know how valid it's going to be, how much that threat was real, because again, because Pakistan wants to get close to America as much as any other country within the region. I'm talking about India. So I don't think they are going to help either. Iran is effectively on its own. It is effectively on its own. If it does not develop more weapons, to be honest, if it does not develop better equipment, it is dead in the water. That's why it is so important for Iran to develop nuclear weapons. Or people will not stop fucking with it every 5 seconds. At this point, it needs for its own survival. Like, don't even develop like warheads. Do it for, like, just develop enough so you can use as a deterrent. Like, give Netanyahu the WMD that they want. Like, just show them. Who knows what news I'll wake up to tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, exactly. It'll probably come from us because we are live tomorrow as well. On that note, do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. For people who are already subscribed, like and share. Thank you very much. Whatever news it's going to be, we'll probably cover it. And it's not going to be a good thing. I'm so sorry. Most of our predictions come to fruition, and none of them are actually very nice, which I personally do not like. I don't want our predictions to come to fruition. I'm being very clear here. Like, our predictions are not nice. And them coming to real is a problem. But fair, but whatever, doesn't matter. For now, let's just focus on what is happening right now. Jesus Christ, why? Prediction-wise, I would still say that this shit is not going to go anywhere. Like, they can't topple the Iranian regime. They are trying to incite the people. Even within the speech Trump made, he is trying to incite the people of Iran. He knows that without the people coming together and actually fighting back against Iranian regime, nothing is going to happen. Like, literally nothing is going to happen. They cannot topple Iran with just weapons. They cannot topple Iran by even killing Khamenei. Because Iranian government does not work that way. It is not Venezuelan government. It is not a government that has everything focused on one person. They will just create another Khamenei. Trump even said this, there is only one choice. Exactly, that is what he said. That is what I'm getting at. Exactly. Exact fucking lead. I should really stop giving F-bombs. It is bad for, like, getting the name out. All they did was make Iranians angry by attacking civilians. You would be surprised how much idiotic some people are. You never know. I'm say what I am thinking, that this is not going to go anywhere further. This is going to stop eventually, and this is not going to go beyond a certain level. This might start an extended war if Iran, or rather if Israel keeps bombing Iran, but America will have to stop bombing Iran eventually. It can't sustain a long-term war, especially because Trump's numbers are bad. He's going to be replaced. By the way, the thing about the school, their video about the Iranian failed missile launch that landed on the school. If Mew is talking, if Mew, Iranian failed missile launch that landed on a school. I'm not sure if it's Iranian missile that fell on the school. I'm not sure. YouTube chat. New moon. No, so the thing is, Israel has a habit of attacking civilians. It is not just, Israel doesn't just target like official government. We saw this in like a June and July when Israel had attacked. Like normal people are obviously going to die. Plus, if your country is the video, it was a failed, sure. But if your country is getting attacked, irrespective, even if you're attacking like government installations, people are going to get angry. That is what they are getting at. New Moon is getting at. Irrespective of, also, see, I am not sure if that is perfectly correct that it was a failed Iranian missile launch, because I do trust Mehdi Hassan to, like, whenever the such news comes in, and he's the one who got me to it. If he has retracted that, I would. What it wasn't. It was. See, again, I'm not sure. All of the news is coming in like immediately. So there's a lot of news that's going to be fake coming in. There's a lot of like here and there issues that are going to going out. So don't worry about a lot of this right now. Just worry about what America is doing. Again, yeah, no credible source said it was failed Iran missile. But like, I do trust Mehdi Hassan a lot more on this topic. So if he has retracted whatever, his repost, quote unquote, I would still believe it is a failed. Sorry, I wouldn't believe it's a failed Iranian missile, but I would. Oh, hold on, they have a news out. See, again, also, this is also like a very Israeli thing to do. Jaishankar Shah will not say shit. If he'll just parrot what MEA said. I will get to MEA as well. Give me a second. We are getting to the point where how this affects India. Yeah, they have released, Zateo has released an official note. Nothing new. Oh, okay, I understand this. Hold on, guys. So one of the reasons why I think the attack was so forced this week as well is Zateo is saying, last week, Iran announced that it will temporarily close the Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz, for people who do not know, is a key location from where like what 90% of trade that happens between Asia and Europe and America goes through the Strait of Hormuz. It is extremely important. I think this is why they like attacked more or less. Because Israel was trying to do like, what is the word? What is a good word? Like trying to do an invasion anyway. But I think this is what like led to it being this week and not like next week. We'll see. But yeah, they have control. It will be hilarious if Strait of Hormuz does close. Yeah, it will be very hilarious when half the world's population goes without food. But yeah, it would be hilarious. I mean, the best way out of this for Iran is like, we have WMDs. Just say we have WMDs under the Strait of Hormuz. You do anything, we bomb it. Everyone will shut up and like be in favor of Iran immediately. But sadly, they actually do not have WMDs. Hey Radhika, how are you doing? How's it going? Thank you for coming. We were just covering it, the whole thing, over and over again. We are going to look at the Wires interview. So this guy is, let me just begin with this. This guy is a fucking dickhead. He's just stupid. We are going to stop multiple times throughout this interview just correcting him because he's like Amriki Dalla at this point. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Like the normal shit, getting hate from Sangis on a daily basis. You get used to it. Do like, share, and subscribe if you can, please. That would be very nice. Thank you so much. If there is something specific you want me to talk about, do just tell. If we have also a Discord, by the way, if you want to join. It is a safe space for people to discuss stuff. If you want to talk, it's a LGBTQ free space. The only condition is you should not be a Sangi. Anyway.
This is
let's get to it.
Overwhelming pressure intended to break the regime and bring about change. It's very high risk.
We must remember that Iran has been considerably weakened. Its proxies have been weakened over the last 2 years. Its own in the last June attacks, its own capacity has been weakened. So what it can actually do across the Middle East, or how much would it want to do, I think at this stage is a little early to say.
Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate.
If you can, do support the Wire. Wire is an extremely important resource for us and everyone around to get actual news.
For me, it's been
a
exciting.
lot of people that I know, not like personally, but like, let's just say professionally, technically, I do call myself a streamer. So professionally are part of the Wire and they do excellent work. So please, if you can, do support the Wire. Do also support us, but to support us, all you have to do is subscribe, like, and share.
I hope it's been enjoyable for you.
I have a fear that it company gets purchased by America. And what do you think is objective? Purchased by America? I'm not really sure what you mean by purchased. What do you think his objective now is? Can we trust? Khamenei, again, he's not going to get bought out by America because it's Trump's international policy is very person specific. He will want to replace the entire regime with something that is very pro-America. The first thing that happens in that scenario is that all of the oil reserves get sold off to like what was it, like BP, Shell, whatever. Like what happened with Venezuela, like Chevron is selling Venezuelan oil and taking all the profits from it. Not even joking. The only chance for the people of Iran to not suffer more is to push back against the US invasion. The reason why I say the people of Iran is because the regime change is not going to happen just on its own. The regime change, even as Trump has said this in multiple points. Trump wants the people of Iran to revolt because that is the only way there is a regime change in favor of America. But even if there is a regime change, what I would want, like personally speaking, what I would want of the people of Iran, if they want to like replace Khamenei, if they want, sure, go ahead with it. He's like, again, he's not the best guy out there. But if they want to replace, let it be replaced by someone who's not Pahlavi for one, because again, he's Dalla for America. Or replace him with someone who's not pro-America. Because the first thing that America is going to do is take away their oil resources, is take away anything that makes profit for America and profit for Israel. And it's going to make it hollow from the inside. That is what is going to happen. I am sorry. It looks very bad right now. I meant Iran economy is not good. So, okay. What if Trump Khamenei negotiated and he became, okay, the reason why Iran's economy is not good is not because of Iran itself. Iran's economy is not good for the same reason Venezuelan economy was not good or Cuban economy is not good, because they are under sanctions. Sanctions are extremely bad for an economy because of the universal US international hegemony that exists. If you are someone, yeah, that is Batman, that is what we are covering right now. Do like, share, and subscribe. So the thing that is happening here, like Iranian economy is bad because of the sanctions. If anything you sell, anything you produce gets sanctioned off, it means that any country that wants to work within the dollar, wants to work with the dollar, or like wants to work with US, cannot trade with you. The only trading partner Iran had was Russia and India. Russia is losing economy, like their economic power. India has given up on Iran altogether, where like Prime Minister just went to Israel right before Israel bombed Iran. Look how much best friends we are, kissing each other. That is what he went there to do. That is the problem there. Like Iranian economy is bad because of the sanctions. It's not bad because of like them having a bad economy in general. Like Iran has the capacity to be as rich as the Saudis, has the capacity to do it because of all of the oil reserves. But again, sanctions. Because for them to sell oil, they're gonna have to get sold off, literally sold off, like sell everything, not for money though, and also not for money. Sell everything to Chevron, sell everything to BP, sell everything to Shell. Oh man, I imagine if the US got hold of Iranian oil, they are already have exactly US getting hold of Iranian oil would be a game changer for the US. It would make sure that entirety of the world's oil is under US control. Entirety of it that is being used, not the undiscovered one or like the ones that have not been used up. The Strait of Hormuz is now shut down by Iran. Can you send me the news for it, please? That is extremely important to talk about. They're all. Does this? If reason it doesn't happen with people, so does that, Radhika? Does that answer your question? I think in my talking, the question kind of got lost. So I'm just making sure you ask, like you got the answer. China is not going to do anything. No, China is not going to do anything. China wants to trade max. But trade maxing requires you to be good with everyone around. And to good with everyone, it cannot have the Strait of Hormuz shut down. If what Bliss is saying here, that if it might have been shut down, it cannot lose its tie-ups with America. It cannot lose its tie-ups with Europe. It is not going to go against them right now. Because the entirety of power that China has over everyone else, the raw earth minerals that we're talking about, it's not about like raw earth minerals directly. It is the processing of it. US sends its raw earth minerals to China for processing. The processing technology, if other governments develop, China gets out of the picture. And it, like, again, to be honest, there is also this idea that it needs to develop it in a way that it is also cheap. But again, that is just like a detail. But the development is the problem. China does not want that. China cannot have that. If China has it, it will be a problem. So yeah, China is not going to say anything. Russia is also not going to say anything in this scenario. If Russia says it, it's going to be a problem. The only person who can say anything about it is, again, send me the news article, guys. I can't just say shit like this, that the Strait of Hormuz is blocked out of nowhere. Send me the news article where you're getting it so I can show it here. Yeah, I mean, good for me. I don't have a car or a bike myself. Very conscious, by the way. Guys, seriously, if you have the news, send it to me. We have a Discord for a reason. Okay, what is this? Is this a trustable thing? English Arabia? An official from the Urban Navy. The vessel. Oi, oi, oi. That's okay. This is very big if true. This is very big if true. So they are saying Iran is closing off the Strait of Hormuz, that it is going to be attacked. Now they do have the capacity to attack the strait, by the way. People in Iran hate US, so they won't accept pro-US government. You never know. Everything lies on who wins in the propaganda game, to be honest with you. That's why America is doing so much to... Oh, there's a statement by Stammer. We'll look at it in a second. This is a big thing, by the way. This is an extremely big thing. If the Strait of Hormuz is actually closed, get ready for a bigger war over this. This is an extremely important strait. Closing it, like if the Strait of Hormuz is closed, like actually closed, and this thing is not solved like within one day, every single country is going to cry foul, and every single country is going to be in like, we are attacking and picking sides here. This might lead to a lot of bullshit that you may not want. And there's one more thing, like Keir Starmer. Let's just check. Also, Radhika, if you're still here, did you get the answer you were looking for?
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran.
Okay. Sanitation of language alert. Struck targets? No. Invaded. It was an invasion. People are saying Netanyahu has fled Israel. Yes, it has. Also, there's a theory that Hamas was made by them. Okay. Yes and yes. Netanyahu flees Israel every single time there is an Iranian whatever. Hamas was paid by Netanyahu's government. This is not a theory. This is true. This is literally true. Not even joking. Hamas was paid by Israelis. Okay, there is a bit of history there. Israel had a faction. Gaza had a faction within the government. It was a political party. The PLA, for the longest time, were, let's say, Gandhian. They wanted to do marches. They wanted to do anti-Israel marches, hunger strikes, whatever. They were very, very, very decent. To beat them, Israel started funding Hamas, the right-wing organization, that like right-wing Islamic organization. Their miscalculation there was that they were not able to control Hamas. The Hamas said, we are taking the money, we are taking the money, we are going to win the election and never go away and not even support Israel and not be in Israel's pocket. That's how Hamas started. And that's when all of that shit started. So both of what you're saying is true. There is another thing. We had actually brought this up. This was a very quick thing. So this thing here, hold on, please. I know. I'll get to it. Please, I know. I'll get to it. 1 second. I'm trying to explain the Hamas and thing. This is the airplane. You can find, this is the number for our boy Bibi Genocide Yahoo's plane. So he leaves immediately after. That is not even a joke. Last time in June when Israel-Iran started, he also left. He goes on an island on Greece. Not kidding. Literal island on Greece. He flees every single time. He's like, I'm not doing this shit. Meri life mere ko pyari hai. Anyway, okay, let's check. Perfect. Reuters. Thank you for that. An official in European Navy upside said on Saturday that the vessel that has been received by VHF transmission from Iran's Revolutionary Guard saying no ships is allowed to stay. This is fucked, by the way. Yes, Netanyahu's real surname is Mikhailovsky. I can go to his family home within 4 hours. I'm not even joking. I got the answer I was looking for, but I want to know something. Could be the opposite of Khamenei. Can be a CIA agent again. Change, as you said, would be in favor of America. Yes and no. Like, do not underestimate the public of Iran, I would say. What we are getting is just like what see, all of our news that comes around is more or less at one point filtered by America at some point of time. So I have not lost hope with the people of Iran. But the change, I can tell you as much, cannot happen with because of this invasion. In that scenario, you will get like sorry, what was I saying? You will get like a pro-American supreme leader if it happens within this few, because the supreme leader can never be trusted. It needs to happen. It could have happened if US had not invaded. We will see. I mean, it was there about to happen anyway. Like, see, the riots that were happening, if the riots had continued, if US did not take the chance and like, oh, like, look, this is, we will support, we'll attack Iran, whatever, it could have gone to place, but it did not, because US has to nose around in everything. Also, if you ever, what was this? Who's this guy? Razvi, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, they're trying to instill him again. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Iran leadership being pro-American is almost impossible since the entire leadership emerged after 1970 and revolt. Yes, that is true. That is why they are saying they need a revolt from, America needs a revolt from ground up. Because even if you kill Khamenei right now, it's not going to make a difference. And they want to set up this guy. Where is this? This guy. This guy's son. This guy's son. So this guy is the exiled crown prince. He's extremely pro-America. He lives in America, by the way. He grew up in America. And this guy is not connected to the people at all, but America wants to reinstill him again. His Masih Al-Niyad, who is popular in Iran, anti-hijab movement, looks very pro-Trump and Zionist to me. But by the way, say in future, India cut ties with Israel. Whom can we rely on? South Korea, Russia? Okay, for one, I am someone who is going to say we have to cut ties with Israel to be good. And I am also someone who says we need to be able to develop it ourselves. We do not need to rely. If we are the fourth largest economy, we do not need relying on any other country, to be honest with you. No one is going to fuck with us anyway in this scenario because we have nukes. We do. That is a very good thing. Any country who wants to protect its sovereignty needs nukes. Also, okay, you're probably going to hate me for this. Because killing Khamenei is not going to make a difference, mostly because the structure of how the government is structured. If you kill him, he's just a titular position, to be honest. He can be replaced quite easily by the next one in line. That's why Trump is saying we need regime change from ground up. That's why in Venezuela, who is like a very centric government, like one person centric government, they only had to kidnap the Venezuelan leader. So that is the problem. You can't just kill Khamenei. It doesn't matter. It's like what I was saying about like Modi with respect to the RSS. Like there was this news, right? Someone was saying like, oh, look, Modi died like 11 hours ago and shit like this. And like everyone was like, amazing if true. But that is not the point. If Modi dies tomorrow, natural causes, I do not want a UAP. I do not care if he lives or dies. I am not planning anything. just to be very clear. For whatever reasons, because he's like 70 something, so I mean, he's old. Whatever reasons, he passes away. RSS will just instill someone new. The problem was never Modi per se. Modi is just a titular figure of what Hindutva nationalism is. If you want to hit the root, if you want to remove the problem, you have to hit the root. You can't just say, oh, we are targeting Modi and just Modi himself. Modi does not go around like instilling hate among people against Muslims or Dalits or whatever. He does. He has his part in this. He might be the leader everyone is focused on. But the work that has been done before him to create permissibility for the hate that they are preaching right now is done by the RSS. Since 1947 and before. The RSS movement were based on the Nazis. They are based on the Zionists. It's an entire collective that we are going against. You can't just get rid of Modi and be like, we can't just get rid of Modi and be like everything is going to be fine. It is not. Amit Shah will come up. Amit Shah will come up. Yogi will come up. Who's that guy? Piyush, whatever will come up. Fuck, Jai Shankar will come up. Doesn't matter. That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, yes, BJP does use the authority mechanism, Congress led. Yeah, there was. So I can tell you this much. Since 1947, even since the banning of the RSS has been doing entryism within the Congress. And that's why you can see more and more laws that have been developed into protecting a nationalist authoritarian state come into place. The anti-defection law, for example, is one. How MLAs are selected. The UAPA are increasing ties with Israel. Also, just to answer your question, and I'm sorry you're going to again hate me. I kind of forgot to answer that. India needs to make peace with China. India really needs to make peace with China. There is no way that India develops any further if it keeps opposing China because how much we need from China. China has succeeded within the same parameters that were laid on before India. They do not have some special mineral in their soil. They do not have anything special that makes China China. What they have is a robust political ideology. What they have is a focus towards its own people. India needs to learn from that. India needs to stop trying to be the anti-China. It needs to go down that route. It needs to make peace regionally with China, with Arunachal Pradesh, with Northern Kashmir. If it cannot make peace, we are always going to be on the loser's end. I'm not saying like take big ass loans from China, be their puppet or whatever. No, just make peace. Because we were discussing this earlier. The effect of what is happening right now is going to be going to happen in India as well. If tomorrow, so India obviously is going to take up the mantle of opposing China. I think we are appeasing. In fact, relationship is very bad. Also, what about Japan? Japan and China don't like much. We can counterbalance the Japan if needed. So Japan and China don't like much is because of history. Japan has been a genocider for Chinese people for the very long time and Koreans. Japan also, for people who do not know, the Japanese constitution was written by America. Within their constitution, they cannot oppose America. They are America's bitch. Not even joking. They do not have sovereignty for whatever they do because of America. Relationship is very bad. Also, stop thinking about counterbalancing anyone here. We do not want to be a counterbalance to other people because, again, this is a very good segue here of like what I think is wrong with the Congress as well in general, is that just like the Congress, if we are Congress is trying to counterbalance BJP, which is why they're kind of not winning. I'm so sorry to say. We need to be proactive as India. And even Congress needs to be very proactive with its stance. If it's not, people are going to think as the second option. It needs to be starting as the only option. Nanjing massacre has been the worst history committed. Yes, it is the worst thing they have committed. And it is not even the beginning. Like, it is not even the end of it. It's not just like one and done. It's like multiple different things. Like, Japan genocided its own native population. For like, the current Japanese are not the natives of Japan. They are like colonials. And ironically, a Nazi named John Rabe helped people of Nanjing. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very weird. But anyway, coming back to it. India needs to make its own space, not as a counterbalance to people, not as like a counterbalance to China, not as a counterbalance to, like, it was the counterbalance to China for America, which is bad because again, we are being subservient. It was a counterbalance to be like, oh, now you're saying like we need to be like Japan's counterbalance, whatever. No, not at all, not one bit. I would disagree. India needs to have its own ass in order. Sorry for the expletive. If India cannot have its own ass in order, it's going to be problematic going on because we end up being someone's bitch. We do end up being someone's bitch just because we are being like, we are going to counterbalance it. We are assuming that we have to have someone looking up for us. India does not need anything. We have nukes. We literally have the military capacity to stand our own. But like, we are always thinking like internationally we need to be like someone's this, someone's that, which is a problem. If you're always someone's something, there is always someone above us. We never stand on our own fucking feet. And if you want to stand on your feet, the one thing that we have to do is to fix our internal issues. You can't have Manipur Liberation Army acting up. You can. America kya kehta tha? Lol. Yeah. I guess I'm basically making the same argument. You see, we have to make our own space in this world. We can't just depend on other people to provide us that space. China didn't become China because it said we are going to counterbalance India for someone. That is the thing. And I sound like very politician-like. I sound like, oh, we are going to do this. No, we have to do this. We don't really have a choice here. That is the issue. Like, India does not have a say in any of this. No one is going to... Hey, Papaksh, I noticed Japan is being mentioned. I noticed an article today where large number of commercial fishing boats from China are in the waters of Japan. What do you think? I think China is doing like marine colonization within the region. For people who do not know, I am a marine biologist, and the Chinese takeover of the exclusive economic zone of multiple different countries is a huge problem. They are trying to... No. China is doing that with commercial fishing and just taking over regions by like string of pearls and creating false ports in the middle of the ocean and calling it its own national territory. That it is a big problem. Irrespective of whether or not the whatever that article says, China taking over the South China Sea is a humongous problem for international relations of China and Japan. But then Japan is not something that is very independent. It has to like be subservient to America. Also, if you're new here, please do subscribe. Thank you very much. And do leave a like and share. I think our policy right now is kind of stupid. Just to be clear, our current policy is literally nothing. It is a very hard... No, why are you sorry? Nightly Gamer, don't be sorry. It's fine. What? I'm not shitting on you. I'm really not shitting on you. I'm agreeing with you. Anyway, so our current policy in the Indo-Pacific, like, okay, we need a direction here. We have zero direction. If you are saying we need to protect our exclusive economic zone, yes. If India wants to not have a string of pearls, we need to start developing floating ports as well. But all of this comes after We solve our internal issues. You want a maritime policy, security wise, you want an Indo-Pacific policy, that is fine. But if our own people are not happy, you can't do any of that. Because people will look at us and be like, look, weak as people, they can't even take care of themselves. What is the point of having such a good military, such a good whatever, if our own people want not to be part of India? Like, again, why did the Manipur Liberation Group come into focus again? It is not because of our such good internal policy. It's because of what is happening in Manipur against the Kukis. Why is it the thing that, and I was trying to get to it, because of the war in Iran. Yeah, human security is more important than state security right now for India, especially India right now, because of the situation that is going bad right now. So talking about maritime policy is one thing, but like we have to make sure that we can sustain sanctions. If tomorrow China is mad at us for like pushing back in the maritime zone and it says we are not going to refine your rare earth, we are not going to process it, what is India going to do? Where is India is going to buy? China is currently monitoring who a certain country is selling their rare earths, processed rare earths to. India has no development in that scenario. It has never had. Whatever we are making progress was stopped by fucking Modi. AFSPA says otherwise. To be honest, what are you getting at? Which part? I have been saying a lot of things, plus you're on YouTube and I don't really know which part are you talking about. The Special Powers Act, in what terms are you talking about here? No, I know it's the law. I'm just talking which part are you talking about, because YouTube chat is behind. It's not Twitch chat. Twitch chat is immediate. I can just collect where we are going with it. Are you talking about like the Indian Armed Forces Special Powers Act that is they are using to push for it and not look at human security, but only look at state security because we are becoming an authoritarian rule? Has maritime policy how become better? Sumit Ganguly came, Panikar Janban is a scholar says so. See, I don't know. I am not yes, I know it allows lethal force, but it's going to be pointless. KM Panikar Janban is a scholar says so. I don't really know. Honestly, I'm not going to say if it's better or not because they are saying so. Again, I have my issues with academics. Being an academic myself, sorry. Excuse me. See, being an academic myself, I do understand a lot of academics have their opinions a little bit colored by subjective bias. My opinion right now is that whatever these scholars are saying is true on paper. The issue is with the minutiae of what they are actually saying. Has it become better on paper? Yes. Has it become better because of better technology? Yes. Is it going to work? In my opinion, no. Yeah, we are actually surrounded by all sides. I'm getting to it. Has it going to work? No. Why is it not going to work? First of all, India is not unified as China is unified. Like, China has their own problems with like people this wanting this, people wanting that. But at the end of the day, they still are not facing that much harassment as Indian people are doing by the Indian government. Which is funny to say because we were led to believe that Chinese people are the most oppressed. They are not. The second issue here is when it comes to maritime, for example, we don't have support of any of our maritime neighbors. Even land neighbors that share a sea border with us. Do we have support of Bangladesh? No. Do we have support of Pakistan? Never. Do we have support of Maldives? No. That is, yeah, caste discrimination, sectarianism are the biggest obstacles for unity. Exactly. If we can't get rid of these first and foremost, if we can't get rid of this, the racism that we have towards the Northeast, because Northeast plays a big important part for our security. What are we going to do? Like tomorrow, if China uses, like, think about this. If China uses all the shit that is going on and if has an expansion policy within the Arunachal Pradesh, which it already has said multiple times that Arunachal Pradesh is part of its own territory, if it wants that, all it needs to do is use Pakistan's war with Afghanistan if India interferes in there, or just say like, oh, Afghanistan is being pressured by India to be part of this, or is helped or forced into, and we are helping Pakistan in this scenario. All it needs to do is say that, get together with Bangladesh and cut off the chicken's neck. What can India do in a 2-3 front war with Pakistan, Bangladesh, and China? Nothing. We can't do shit against China in the first place. To be fair, I have issues with academics as well, but these are not Sanghis. However, I think the romanticization of military time security as its first time ocean policy is being discussed. Yes, I don't believe in romanticizing it myself, to be honest with you. See, I don't know within the minutiae of what they are actually saying because I haven't read them. But that's why I'm trying to be as neutral about this as possible. But as far as I have seen, when you're talking about all of this thing, especially with an academic perspective, you are told to be extremely diminutive. Minimize the issue into basic structural problems and not a systems perspective. When you talk about India's systems perspective, when it comes to our security with land and sea and whatever, India's segregative policies for Indians becomes a huge issue. Humongous. The reason why we can't have per capita income increase in India is also the reason why we can't have newer technologies on the go. Is why we can't become China. China didn't focus. Okay. I know these folks, they're similar to Sushant. Okay. The reason why India cannot be as powerful as China is because China focused on per capita income. It made sure all of their people had jobs, had land, had a place to stay under. That's why it has more and more inventions going on. It has people working towards a betterment of China rather than just the betterment of their own person or getting the clip. Like Galgotia, for example. Galgotia people wanted to have like popularity for themselves. They did not think like, oh, like India ka kya hai? Like how will this look if this get caught? They did not think any of that. The reason why a Chinese person would never. They will think of China's image as well because China thinks of them. Yes, and China isn't to push out AP as well because locals themselves don't want to be. Exactly. That has been their thing with Taiwan as well. China is not pushy. I'm just saying if it wanted to. It is very easy for China to take over India. We saw with OP Sindoor what the fuck was going on in that point. China helped Pakistan in its detection. China is the one who supplied the weapons, the artillery, the planes. China was the clear winner in that war. The problem for India is India cannot beat China directly. It has to fix its own issues if it wants to beat China. But they are not doing any of that. And that is a big issue. That is a big issue. We can't keep romanticizing like, oh, India will do this, India will do that, India will win like this, India will win like that, without understanding what is happening. Hold on, the Dark Senate. Hi, Dark Senate. I'm sorry, I have not played D&D. I know the lore if you want. We are talking about like India's maritime policy randomly. Also, if you're new here, please do like, share, and subscribe. It would be very nice. Hi from UK. Does this conflict make you feel uneasy in India? This conflict does not make us. I mean, India is irrelevant in this scenario. To be completely honest with you, it doesn't make anyone uneasy. The uneasy feeling is like the Indian government being too chummy with Israel right now. It is fucking shit. That is a problem. That is a very big problem. Iran has been like a friend for a very long time. We are being extremely idiotic right now, not supporting the one friend we had when India was sanctioned by America. On a separate note, why are Muslim countries like Saudi Arabia, etc., not supportive of Palestine? Because they're under the US economy. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, etc., directly work under the US because they gain from the US dollar. They are vassal states. They are puppets of the US, as Bliss. Yeah, they're puppets of the US. That is the direct reason why these people are not supportive of Palestine. A lot of political streamers are into D&D. That's why I was curious. The thing is, I was never exposed to D&D. I might start playing eventually. That is the reason why I'm not into D&D. See, I grew up very poor. I grew up like really poor without friends. I thought India had more favorable leanings to the West. It does, and it doesn't. India has always tried to maintain that it is completely neutral. Left or right, it is complete. That was the idea that India wanted to promote. It is only favorable until like it is gaining something, but right now they are kind of sucking Trump's cock. That's the nicest way I can put it. So Mohammed bin Salem did those women liberation reforms in recent times under CIA instruction. America used feminism to justify imperial. That means exactly America does use women's suffering. Yeah, America does use women's suffering multiple times. It did with Iraq as well. Iraq, the justification for invasion of Iraq was done by saying that women are in trouble. We have to go protect the women and their right to wear skirts. That was literally the justification. What has happened in Iraq since then? Shit all. America is not your friend if America is trying to invade you. That is you as well, James Clown 2022. If you are from the UK, America is fucking you over. Just check what they are doing with your national health safety security, NHS. They are trying to introduce insurance companies into your like medical safety net. I'm not joking. This is what is happening to you right now. Also, please do subscribe if you're here, new here. Like, do share, subscribe. We sold parts of eggs. That is what I'm saying. They're trying to sell it to American insurance companies. That is going to increase your premium sky high. You are going to be like the mini America where people do not get insulin, where people do not get their necessary like surgeries, where they have to decide, should I live today or should I not go into medical debt when you have to order a fucking ambulance? That is a big issue. Like America is fucking over the UK so badly. We buy all our meds from US and France, so we are kind of stuck. You can stop being stuck by buying medicines from other countries. Yes, I've heard. Yes, Radhika, I have heard all of that. I've heard all of that. We'll get to it. We have so much information to get through on streams. Israel is trying to get into every single field out there. That is how it keeps control. Yeah, badly just Iran. We also recently lost an airfield in Tajikistan. Yeah, that is also a problem because India is losing ground on all fronts because it's kind of sucking up to America. And sorry for that, it is sucking up to America like UK sucks up to America. You were supposed to be their daddy. Now they're making you their bitch. India has kind of joined Israel-US camp. What? No, it is joined to the... Okay, Israel kind of controls US. Their camp was the same. India is joined to the hip to hip them now. I thought the UK would have their own pharma industry. They do not. So UK kind of sold off everything. I'm not even joking. They used to. Like our great colonizers are America's bitch right now. And I'm just like, dude, have some shame. Tyler was back last time too. I'm sorry I'm shitting on UK, man. James Clown 2020, 22. But it's kind of true. It's kind of valid. And I'm so sorry for all the shitting I did on UK when I was in Ireland. We had to, as it's very expensive, to 100%. No, it is not. It is not that expensive. I'm not even joking. It is not that expensive. How do every other country that is not affiliated with the US does it? It is not. They kind of lied to you on your face. It's kind of unfortunate conundrum where feminism in hold on, I can't read this anymore. I need to do this pop-up thing somehow. It's kind of unfortunate that the conundrum of feminism on one hand is just as justification of imperialism as also used by right-wing sadists to justify their patriarchy, women scapegoat by all men. That is true. Every time, see, it's not just men, it's everyone. They use everything. With Palestine, they were using LGBTQ. Colonizers, invaders will use every single outlet that they can to justify their violence. They will say that your people, like for example, what they did with Mexico, they said like when it was getting conquered by like Spanish, your people are savages, they do murder and shit. Spanish were doing that as well. They were chopping off people's heads off. It's not just feminism. Feminism, it just gets becoming the titular thing that they mention always. It is also like safety of children. Like literally, I'm not even joking. The people on the Epstein list are talking about safety of children. Also, what is you missed me? Our third of our GDP is healthcare. See, that's the problem. You're still talking about GDP over here. GDP just means that you are good at selling something to yourself. Don't think of it as GDP. Do not think of it as GDP. GDP is, they're trying to phase out GDP. Even economists are trying to phase out GDP. Imagine that. Like, come on, don't think of it in GDP terms. GDP is the most bullshit thing here. I mean, I miss some Aryan Rand quotes. Yeah, lol. I'm sorry, Tyler. They really made fun of you for the Ayn Rand thing. Just kidding. The kind of beautiful dame. Tyler, shut up. Hold on. It's scary that the sun's out in the UK and there's war. I mean, my friend James, you should not be saying that as a person from the UK, honestly. Oh yeah, okay. I misspoke. Sorry, I'm new to your channel. Let me follow. Please do follow. Thank you so much. I'm not stopping you from following by anyway. What kind of unfortunate conundrum where feminism is the only hand justification? Corbyn honestly should have. I mean, you should be supporting. Corbyn was still decent. The only issue that happened with Corbyn. Hold on, Corbyn or someone else? Hold on, what was the James? Sorry, who was the guy who was earlier the leader of Labour? No, before. Was it Corbyn? Yeah, it was Corbyn, yeah. So I'm right. So Corbyn was actually quite decent. Like I like he got killed off because of his anti-Zionist stance. Like they wanted a puppet, so that's why you got like Keir Starmer, the feckless idiot. Not Rishi. No, I'm talking about Labour, Bonzi. I'm talking about Labour, not the opposition. But like, congratulations. You got your first socialist MP who's a plumber. So Green Party kind of winning right now. Like, Keir Starmer took the left party that was supposed to be Labour, pulled it through the center into the right. Keir Starmer is more right than some of the left-wing people, like some of the right-wing people, which is a fucking shame. So congratulations for the Green Party winning. Like seriously. Like, as someone who has been called an honorary Irish when I was in Ireland, learn something from the Irish. This is my literal, I'm not even joking, like, sorry for the ringing R, I'm being very Indian right now. Like, this is my opinion about every fucking thing UK does. Learn from the Irish. The Irish are so much fucking better when it comes to politics. Their right-wing party is more left than your leftist left-wing party. Tony Blair was MP. Yes, the Labour was already bad, yeah. But Corbyn was good. Corbyn was good. Corbyn should have been forward. He kind of got kicked out. Like, you would have really... I wouldn't say you would have prospered by any chances. Zach Polanski is good. Yeah, we love our Polish. Polish people are the best. Well, it depends on your mother sons. If you are more liberal, then you don't want the Greens. Yeah, I know, yeah. I mean, I don't want more liberal anyway. The Greens is kind of winning, so which is good. See, being liberal is stupid because liberal people kind of would support right wing. That is what's happening in America. Why do you think Chuck Schumer is not going like completely against ICE right now, or against immigration right now, or even against Trump right now? He's just like, if you look at America right now, Chuck Schumer's entire opposition to Trump right now is like, he did not call us on the table when he decided to invade Venezuela or stop Cuba's oil, or again invade Iran. They are not against it because they get money from it. Being liberal when you are poor is stupid. I'm a liberal, so you can't reflect US and UK. It's different meaning of... Yes, it is different meaning of liberalism, but they are trying to unify it. See, I am very sorry, but they're trying to unify it. That's what America has been doing for the past, like, how many years has it been? That's why you have so many pro-US people coming into politics. That's why you have, like, why are they selling off NHS? Why are they selling off half of your shit? Why does your army is not your army technically? Like, all of your army is funded by the US for a reason, not just because of NATO. It's because America thinks you are their vassal state. That's why Keir Starmer sucks up to Trump every 5 seconds. It's not just because he is the person who... it's just not a person-specific thing. Why the Tories always loved US. There's a reason for it. It's a slow and deliberate movement to remove... yeah, join the Discord, new people. Oh yeah, by the way, we have a Discord if you want to discuss this in detail. We also have educational and movie nights if you want to be part of this. Regardless, a place I live will side with fascism to save capital. Yes, I mean, top liberals, yes. People who think they are liberals, no. I would argue that. If you are not from the rich class, if you are just someone like a normal person doing a 9 to 5, it doesn't profit you from being a liberal, by the way. Just saying. It does not profit you by being a liberal if you are just someone who's a salaried person. You need to be left, not liberal, because you can be liberal right. Even the liberal left is more or less right. There is no profit for you giving up your bankruptcy claims. There is no profit for you giving up your health care for companies to make money. You are never going to be the person to be like, I'm going to crack the code and be a millionaire. It's never happening. I'm sorry. All of those people that they think like, oh, Jeff Bezos made it from zero to hero. Jeff Bezos was rich from the start. Oh, I'm going to be Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was a millionaire before she became a singer. Oh, I'm going to be Mark Zuckerberg. Again, millionaire before becoming Mark Zuckerberg. All of these people were rich. That's why they're liberals. I think both are literally the same entity at this point. They work so collaborative, Radhika, that Mossad and CIA are literally, you can say the same thing. Like, they are not different. They collaborate. Most of the people in the CIA are either, and I'm not, okay, let me just be clear about this. I'll get to you, James. Just one second. Let me just answer this. A lot of the CIA right now is either dual citizenship Israelis, or they are what's the word, Mormons. They make really good CIA agents. I am not joking. So, like, who's more powerful? Like, it's the same thing. The American government moves how Israel tells them to. You can call CIA the second arm of Mossad. I mean, Mossad again is under control of Ehud Barak and now like Bibi Netanyahu. You think liberal is maximizing freedom over authoritarianism? I think liberals are deluding themselves that they are going to get freedom from authoritarianism if they are only focused on like, oh, I'm a liberal, I want everything free, rather than they should be focusing on what makes them free. The issue is when you're a liberal means I want my rights, that is fine. You get those rights if you're in the left as well. That is not the problem. What liberalism has become today is not that I want freedom from authoritarianism. It's let me make money for corporations that are not going to give me anything. It's isolating all of the wealth of a country in the top 0.1%. It's not even 1% anymore. That's what liberalism is today. I'm not going to comment on your views or anyone's views of how liberalism was like 50, 100 years ago. Even 70 years ago, America had socialist policies while calling itself liberal. It had healthcare. Reagan kind of fucked it over. If you are someone who's rich, and you don't have to worry about food, healthcare, education, whatever, and you're rich enough to avoid all of the negatives that comes with pushing of all of your rights, you can be a liberal and be happy. Okay, James, just to be clear, freedom to choose where your money goes is not a freedom that you get under liberalism. No one is, okay, I just have a very basic question. What do you think the left is? I think you might be confusing what the left is. Because again, you are not choosing where your money goes. No one is going to take your, like in liberalism, because all of your taxes go to Amazon. All of your taxes go to like high corporations that are not used for you. That is the problem. They get the tax cuts when you get a bankruptcy claim and you are on the street. The poverty has increased. Would you rather not have your taxes go to your betterment? Would you rather not have the works of your labor go towards your betterment? Would you rather not have the profits of the country spent on you rather than multi-billion-dollar industries? If it's not left or right, more up and down, if that makes sense, but I hear you. Need to think about what you said for a moment. Please do. Take your time. I'm going to be here for a long time, hopefully. Unless like the Indian government kind of jails me or something. But then again, I'll still try to be here. Yes, James, you're getting there. It's a class struggle. That is what left focuses on, the class struggle, the up and down struggle. That's you're getting there. Like, give it a few more days of thinking, you'll reach Marxism without reading Marx. Not joking. It happens. It's like all of the amazing things Marx has said, that is all fine. The basic idea is simple. Everyone understands it. That is the beauty of Marxism. Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. I am here in good faith as well. And like, okay, everyone is screaming at you to join the Discord, by the way. So we can have this conversation in a lot more detail, where everyone gets to chip in, not just me. This is all in good faith. No one is going to harass you or whatever. I'm not going to make fun of you either. Like the whole... I'm a boomer. Sorry, there is another chat. Sure, whatever. Don't worry about it. I'm a boomer. I'm not a boomer. I'm a like zillennial. Whatever. The point here is that the whole point of this stream is to teach people like what the left is. In India, there is no political ideology whatsoever. No one understands it. No one understands what is left. They think the left is Congress. The right is BJP. Political parties have become the epitome of left and right, and that is the issue. That is what is absolute shit, especially in India. I'm literally watching my favorite UFC fighter, Poland, right now, named Jakub Wiklash. Did you Wikwash? Is that spelling right? UFC is admittedly politically terrible, by the way. It is absolutely terrible. But good on you. Watch whatever you want to watch. That is so cool, though. I'm not a very big UFC person. I have no idea what is going on in UFC. By next Lok Sabha election, try to visit India. Yeah, I'll get arrested like on the literal airport. Half these fucking idiots are like trying to dox me anyway on Twitter. I'll run for an MP of Lok Sabha. And then that is the only way I don't get arrested in India. Because then it would be political. Literally, that will be the only way. Guys, oh Jesus, we have to go back to focusing. Okay. What, the BS conservative movement? Yeah, the RSS movement and the BJP, yeah. They'll literally arrest me. Like, this is talking against the government is basically risking your like well-being in India. That is a big issue. Like, there's an ongoing joke. If you like, because we are live on YouTube as well. If you scroll back over there, I start this entire show with saying like, hello and welcome to the show that answers the question, why will Neil get arrested? That is my catchphrase here. Because it is a actual legitimate concern. All El Cthulhu. Exactly. Anyway. We were derailed enough. Let's go back to the main point of this. It is a hold on. Let me just. Oh, hey, you're here. Yeah, sorry. The questionnaire there is to keep away like bots and sangis. It really helps. Because this is a safe space at the end of the day. The fuck is JD Vance? Oh shit, hold on. hold on. UAPA National UAPA NSA, yeah, NSA and UAPA, the National Security Act, all possible potentially. Yeah, so me and Bliss have basically like our jail cells are already booked. We just want to, we are just waiting for the door to get knocked where we get jailed. James, cool, no worries. It's all cool. Anyway, so this was JD Vance like in 2023. Nah, it's cool. Nah, it's cool. It's fine. It's a nice time to even talk about something else for a bit. Sorry, I'm so sorry for burping. It's all fun and games, man. Like, again, we are not that big anymore, and I enjoy this time just talking to people. I know for a fact when we get to a point where we have a lot of like right-wing IT bots coming in, trying to derail and everything, it's going to be bad. So it's nice getting to chat with people as long as I can. So it's good. JD Vance, 20 years ago, we invaded Iraq. The war killed many innocent Iraqis and Americans. It destroyed the oldest Christian population in the world. The cost was 1 trillion and turned Iraq into a satellite of Iran. It was an unforced disaster, and I pray we learn from these lessons, and they have not learned from their lesson. This is the same guy who recently said, we need to attack Iran because WMDs. Jesus, these are Israeli bitches. Will Israel win or Iran win? I think US will. Whatever happens. Israel, see, Iran can't fight this for long. The only way is like if people in America force Trump to reel back Israel. That is the only way out of this. Iran can't hold out for long. Anyway, getting back to this, the Strait of Hormuz was blocked. Because the Strait of Hormuz was blocked, it's a big issue. The issue here is that it is most of the India strait, like the world states, to be honest. That is all the news there is here. Anyway, we're talking about like, where was this video? Nope. Yeah.
Fact, the means an awful
This is
lot to
this video. Yeah, 1,000-year petrols in India soon. Yeah, 1,000 rupees petrol. That is going to be the most expensive. But then, okay. As someone who's an environmentalist, as someone who is very conscious about the environment, 1,000 rupees petrol sounds like amazing. So people won't use cars and default back to like public transport. Amazing. Let them justify it. Like, make it 2,000. I swear to you, New Moon, if petrol becomes 1,000 and people start going back to goddamn like using like public transport more, I will justify it. I will say it's a good thing. My agenda here is I want to save India's environment and reduce AQI. भाई off topic, पर वो राघव चड्डा वाली न्यूज़ ट्रू है क्या? What news are we talking about here? Because I haven't heard of anything regarding Raghav Chadda. Like food alterations or what? Prime Minister or which one? But first, BJP. Yeah, I think so. He's doing a lot of like pro BJP shit. So there's a good chance he might. Like, but I don't see at this point, I would have said Raghav Chadda is going to the BJP because he, like, there is no news on like the Arvind Kejriwal scam thing. But like now that he has gotten a clean sheet, there's a good chance for a revival of AAP. So Raghav Chadda will stay put. That is my prediction here. Against Swati Maliwal. Lol. Swati Maliwal is going, probably not. No, none of these people will join the BJP. I can assure you as much. If Arvind Kejriwal is still there, they have a fight. AAP has a fighting chance. And all these people are literally there for their seat. Tharoor is more likely to go to Bhajpa. No, Tharoor is not. They were like, Congress was recently doing like the whole, Tharoor was actually like a tie-up agent to get access to Narayane's book thing. So he's not. Like, you can't expect people, like, don't believe politicians, guys, it doesn't matter. Usne hi book diya tha, lol. Yeah, see, guys, stop believing, like, stop depending on politicians. Raghav Chadda can become the next prime minister. Arvind Kejriwal can become the next prime minister. BJP can keep in power. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as the public doesn't start forcing people, the politicians, forcing politicians to listen to them, nothing is going to change. BJP won't understand Tharoor's English. It is not. India has come such a long way in a short period of time. It has not. I am sorry, James, but the idea that it has come a long way is not. When you talk about India was good before 2014, that is true. India has gone like the route of like basic Nazi Germany since 2014. I'm not even joking. Indians are smart, Indians work hard, but currently they are under a fascist regime. No, James, don't look at economical strength. It is all a fucking lie. IMF reading for Indian economy is a C for a reason. It cannot be trusted. They are trying to make information gathering about the economy worse and worse every single day. They are now trying to include the informal sector within the economic consideration of GDP. India, again, may have, I measure success of a country by like how well the people are off. But the data in India is fudged as fuck. So I would judge Norway above a lot of other countries mostly because of like the per capita income is high. People are living very good lives. The issue here is that in India, the GDP might be the 4th largest in the world. Might be. The issue there is that even though the GDP is the 4th largest, The per capita income is $2,000 per month. And that is the average of everyone from people like Ambani and Adani, the richest people in the world, to the poorest people. That's a problem. There are people in India, that live on less than a pound, like pound as in your currency, less than a pound per month. Wealth distribution is a huge problem. India does not Dukhi Insan, I'm here, bro. Hi, thank you for coming here. Yes, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much, Dukhi Insan. So, Dukhi Insan literally means sad person. I am sorry if I don't know who you are. If you are coming here from Twitter, most people want me to be like, hey, do you know who I am? And I'm generally like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. To be honest, Tharoor, even if he stays in INC, is not that good. He is more of a soft Hindutva lover. Never speak against casteism. He is from the RSS. Radhika, I don't know if you know this. He was part of the RSS. That's what I'm saying. That's what I keep saying. RSS did entryism into the Congress for the longest time. They have their people in Congress trying to shift the decision making away from the actual left-wing politics to liberal right-wing politics. That's why, when Rahul Gandhi's speech, by the way, few years ago, I'm so sorry if you were not aware. He was literally from the RSS. I'm not joking. Yeah, exactly. Tharoor losing is amazing. Yeah, so the thing is, I did not realize this before, but when Rahul Gandhi said the BJP, the Congress needs cleanup, that is what he meant. There's a lot of RSS folks in Congress. Congress needs to be cleaned up thoroughly. Entryism is a big issue. Entryism is the political idea that you get your people from your organization, starts getting enrolled into your opposition to change that opposition from within. That is a big issue. Currently, you have James, if you are looking for Indian data, you have to check places like The Wire, the News Minute. Do not check the print. These are one of the few institutions that are actually neutral. I'm not going to say they are left. I'm going to say they're neutral. Yeah, also check data that doesn't come out of India. It is fucking fake. We actually did coverage on this as well earlier. It's a problem. It's quite the problem, to be very frank with you. You can't trust anything that comes out of India right now. They lie about everything. I'm not even joking. During Manmohan Singh's, before 2014, we had an extremely stringent, extremely stringent way to check GDP. I don't believe in GDP, but they were extremely stringent. And that's how you get into India had a GDP of 6. When BJP came in, within the first year, they realized that we cannot keep this going on. If we keep this going on, our GDP is going to be 3. So they changed how you calculate GDP. They have been doing it every 2 or 3 years, where they make it easier and easier to blow up the GDP as much as they can. Imagine a country where the poverty line is decreasing, what it means to be poor is decreasing, not because people are getting richer, but because they keep changing what it means to be poor. And this is not me saying, this is the government's doing. First, they were poverty is when you have 500 rupees per month. Now they are poverty is when you have 100 rupees per month. Now imagine, in India, inflation is rampant. This should have gone from 500 to 1,000, but no, it went down. How they calculate employment. First, they calculate employment if you have part-time employment was part of employment. Fine, fair. So 20 hours is employment. At least 20 hours. Now it's 1 hour per month is employment. sorry, per week is employment. If you have worked at least for 1 hour per week, you are considered an employed person in India. Tell me, how is that employment? Also, as mentioned by Dukhi Insan, 95% of India survives on 60 to 250 euros a month. So yeah, we know where. Yeah. Sorry, Pap, I missed your response. If you responded, I have a friend in Dubai and they are being rocketed. It's really distressing. Sorry, I have to check on them. Yeah, please go. It's fine. Do check on them. Do let us know how it fares. We did check on Dubai as well. Yeah, Iran is kind of going crazy right now. I mean, rightfully so. They are being attacked. Can't really help that. Serious Black. Jesus. Can someone, Bliss, get to, can you please get to the Discord and check the member Serious Black? Just interview him because he's a Sanatani. Again, just to be clear, if you are Sanatani, you are gonna get interviewed. Just to be sure that you are... This is a very safe space, by the way. We have a very safe space on Discord. It's very much controlled. You can't just jump in because we have a problem with fucking Sanatanis. They try to... because it is maintained as a safe space and we are very stringent with it. Very stringent with it. Again, Radhika, if you want to join, please do join Discord. It's a very nice space to be. It is very chilly. Like, not like cold, but like everyone is super chill. We do movie nights and shit. It would be nice to have you. It is a LGBTQ safe space where people can just chat, relax, and have a fun time. Anyway, let's go back to this thing.
Me.
Again, please do support the wire if you can. It is important.
Prolonged war attacked the...
So his former letter from Finance Times, literally, okay. I'm just going to say this. Is this correct? No. It's completely free. It is completely free. The only thing you require is to have an account. You can actually join without an account. You don't have to pay a cent. That's why it... hold on, let me just send you the link. So the thing that is pasted on the top of YouTube, that's the link. You can just follow through it. The reason why it's Discord right now, and actually we might be moving because of Israel, but it is because it's completely free. We can host lives on it as well. We do movie nights. I think we watch like anti-war movies, things like that, like movies that have some meaning on it. And we watch, and like we have educational material. If you want any books, like Narayane's book, if you want to read it, it is there. We have like Marxist thought, books on Marxist thought over there. It is like easy access. Also, can someone please do iDiscord and check if the link comes up on your end as well? It would be very nice. I haven't gotten anyone to get it checked before, so just it would be fun to have it checked.
Ayatollah.
As I was saying, Leon Barrow is the former editor of Financial Times. Nothing he says is true here. Yeah, so nothing here, whatever he's saying, Leon Barber is going to be true. I need some reading materials on India-Japan relation, all on Discord. We can find it and post it for you if you want. You'll just directly get the book.
Regime.
Also, if you find something, you can post it over there. There are like, we are very strict on that Discord for safety reasons. So please be sure to read when you are on Discord, please be sure to read the rules. They are pasted every time, every place, wherever required.
What is the intent and purpose of this second attack? What will be Iran's response? And could we end up with a prolonged war that spreads across the Gulf and the Middle East? Those are the key issues I shall raise today, and my first guest is the former editor of the Financial Times, Lionel Barber. Mr. Barber, let me start with a simple question. How do you view the US-Israeli strikes on Iran that began a couple of hours ago?
Well, this in a way is unfinished business. We were told, and you referred to the attack 8 months ago, which was to set back, if not fully destroy, Iran's nuclear program. That clearly, that mission wasn't fully accomplished. But now we have an extra dimension, a very important dimension, where President Trump, in his address, and you can...
Okay, this is coming in right now. There is footage of getting, like, UAE is getting attacked next to the Burj Khalifa. This is a problem. Yeah, Iran is saying, like, we are not taking hostages anymore. If you are going to support the aggression of US Israel, you are going to be fucked over. Again, remember, UAE, the oil in UAE has nearly dried up. They are depending more and more and more on the US and people coming in to support their lifestyle. Their oil is drying up, so this is a big problem. They can't recreate it. They are like third generation Egypt that is going on right now for them. If you know the reference, thank you very much. Like modern Egypt. Like not like modern, but like modern back then.
See it online, is making clear that he wants regime change. He wants the Iranian people, and remember there were mass protests earlier this year.
The war updates is like Dubai is getting attacked. Like Iran is struck near UAE. That is the only update right now. I'll keep you updated as we go along, but that requires me to stop talking and check, because I'm doing work on the side while this is going on as well.
Thousands were killed. He wants those Iranian people to essentially overthrow the government.
Thousands were not killed, first of all. There were not, like, the reason, again, as we mentioned before multiple times, thousands that were wanted to be killed. He wants them to overthrow them because Trump knows that the regime is not going to change just by, like, whatever he's killing Khamenei.
So
I'm waiting for, guys, if you find something, like Khamenei was going to give a speech, if you find it, let me know.
I think this is overwhelming pressure intended to break the regime and bring about change. It's very high risk.
You have cited the...
Small update. This is a video from Dubai getting bombed. I'm so sorry. If you have people in Dubai, please do check on them. You have already supported the channel by subscribing. I'm sorry, we are not monetized yet. I'll talk to you if you want to support it. I'll get back to you when we are actually monetized. We are not affiliated partners yet. When we are, I'll let you know. Right now, a subscription, a like, that is enough for us. You can subscribe on YouTube as well if you like. That's the best way. Thank you so much. That actually means a lot.
8-minute video that President Trump put out early this morning on Truth Social, where he calls upon the Iranian people to rise up and to take control of the government. Separately, Prime Minister Netanyahu has explained the attack on Iran on the basis of an existential threat that Israel faces. I presume.
FYI, rockets are landing in civilian areas in Dubai, not militarized. Yes. Yeah. It landed very close to even the Burj Khalifa right now. Yeah, that is true. It is a big problem. Hold on. This is a bad thing, but I think what the idea is that to force Saudi Arabia to reckon. Yeah, it is not good. This is absolutely bad. This might start a bigger war, bigger regional war that's going to have international repercussions. But I think this is to force UAE and all of the Middle East countries to stop their support from Israel. Like, look, if you keep supporting Israel in its invasion of Iran, you are going to be collateral damage. Yeah, things are going to be terrible because of Hormuz. If Hormuz is stopped, it is gone. Like, look at all of the shit that went through just because a boat was stuck parallelly in the strait. This is going to get from worse to shit very fast.
Presume he too wants regime change. But what is the guarantee that an attack will actually produce regime change? Is it not possible that there could be a rally around the flag effect? After all, Iranians are now battling for the survival of their country. They may choose to support the government against invaders rather than topple the government.
There's no guarantee that this comes off. And by the way, Benjamin.
Hold on, guys, Hormuz shit. Because Hormuz is like extremely important. So we're just gonna. So global, I released just this right now.
Navy, attention all ships. This is Sepah Navy, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. From now on, all navigating through the Strait of Hormuz is forbidden. No ship in every type is not allowed to pass from a Strait of Hormuz till next notice. This is Sepah Navy, out.
This is going to be so bad. Literally, if the war doesn't stop today, yeah, take your time. It's fine. By the time you recharge your battery, we'll still be here. There's a very good chance. If the Strait of Hormuz is not opened today, everyone is going to get fucked over because they are. No, these are not theatrics. You can't have theater with Strait of Hormuz. This is them saying, stop the invasion or we fuck you over. That is it. Strait of Hormuz is way too damn important. All of everything passes through the Strait of Hormuz. I wonder how this will affect Yemen. I think, okay, Yemen is gonna get bombed. I can guarantee you. You know why? It's not because of Iran, Israel, or anything. It is like the standard outlook or like standard requirements to be a president of America. If you have gotten the position, you have to bomb Yemen. Every single president has bombed Yemen. I don't know why. This is just a requirement. Yemen has already started targeting ships of the West. Yeah, I mean, it should. Again, Yemen is bombed under every single presidency. Every time there is a new person. I disagree. This is a regime-focused attack to try. Yes, no. That is they're trying to do. That is what they're trying to do. No, that is literally what they're trying to do. That is what we are saying. They want to trigger an attack from the regime. Sorry, attack the regime from with respect to a revolution. But like, okay, tomorrow, let's say we are both in the UK. We both hate the fucking Tories. Or currently the Labour. But someone attacks UK. Someone attacks our homes. And says, we are attacking to give you a chance to get rid of the Tories. You are going to look at them and be like, what the fuck, bro? We were already doing it. Why would you attack us? Plus, you have the example of Iraq. You have your own historical example with Iran. Yeah, like last regime change. Yeah, okay. That as well. The last regime change that happened in Iran. Pahlavi's father, when he was pushed back, because he was installed by a similar tactic. Iran has a history of this, direct history. This is how it went. It wasn't that popular, but this is how it went. That makes sense. If the Tories were not threatening us or funding some of our enemies, you would agree there is a limit to threats. Threatening the US funding some of... See, in this scenario, Iran is not funding... You're fine, James. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It is really nice to be able to talk about this. The Iran is not funding the enemies of US. Israel was funding ISIS. even if you want to talk about Hamas, Hamas was funded by Israel. All of the so-called enemies of US were funded by Israel. Currently, Iran is like... So, do you know what the JCP... No, but like beginning. Until very recently. Do you know what the JCPOA is? Was rather. Like straight question. Do you know what like the... Hold on. Do you know what the JCPOA is? JCPOA was the agreement that was led to Iran saying we are not going to do nukes, we are going to be nice. Yes, the Iran nuclear deal. It was already in place. Iran was not a threat to anyone. They were not funding anything that was untoward. They were funding Hezbollah. You know why? Because it wasn't a threat to the US. Hezbollah does not have like long-range missiles that can attack US directly or even the UK. Because they were under threat by Israel. Israel continuously has been trying to lobby the US to attack Iran. That is the problem. The problem here is Israel. The problem here is not like Iran. Iran doesn't give a shit about the US. Iran doesn't want to attack anyone in the US. Does not. They don't care. They want to be left alone. But rather than leaving alone, you have Netanyahu coming up. Hold on, we have this video right here. Where is this? Where's the Netanyahu video? Let me just bring it up. It is also on the Discord. Let me just grab it here. We have Netanyahu coming up every few years.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable
1995.
of
But Israel has a point, right? I'm not support of Israel and Iran wanted. If you were Israel, you may understand the... No. Don't get me wrong. Israel does not have a point. Israel is a colonial force. They want the land. They are trying to spread out. See, Israel has been consistently is taking over year by year Palestinian land. That is how they were developed. If you go to the earlier live, I explained everything. I can explain this again if you like. Then, now it wants Syrian land. It wants Iraqi land. They recently took some land from Syria last year. The only opposition that they cannot beat is Iran. So they can't have the original land that was like the greater Israel. They can't make that with Iran being present. That's why they want to get rid of Iran or make it so that Iran doesn't have a position in the world. Yeah, Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration, James. Yeah. I'll just post it on Twitch for you. You can check it out. The reason here is that they can't do it with Iran being there. There is also another thing here. America wants to nationalize Iranian oil. Iranian oil funds like 40% of the total oil in the world, next to like Russia and Venezuela. So if they want to take it over, if they want to sell it to Chevron, if they want to take it to BP, Khamenei is not going to let it happen. That's why they were under constant sanctions. Iran was under constant sanctions by the American government. And that is a big thing, because if a country wants to trade with America, it cannot trade with Iran. That's the deal with sanctions. Iran is not a threat here. The aggressor is Israel. Israel has constantly attacking Iran, even in June. What do you mean by a preemptive strike? Even today's was a preemptive strike. That literally means, preemptive literally means, if because we think you're going to attack us, we are going to attack you first. Do you not realize, like, imagine you're standing next to me. I think you're going to slap me, so I slap you first. And my shit is like, oh no, I am not guilty of slapping you because you're going to slap me first, so don't look at me. That is kind of stupid. Iran has been attacked consistently by people like Benjamin Netanyahu in preemptive strike. This is not even the first strike.
Producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not,
he was saying 3 to 5 years for nuclear bombs since the first. and intifada. See, intifada. Sorry, excuse me. My throat is. I need some water. No. Don't bother spelling intifada. You should really spell check that. See, intifada was also justified. No, it's fine. It's fine. No one has attacked Israel without a cause. They have always been the aggressor. Do you know what preceded the Intifada? It was, I shit you not with the name, it was Operation Alibaba. It was an Operation Flying Carpet. You know what these were? These were Israel attacking Iran, Iraq, everyone to sow hate against the populace, against the Jews that remained peacefully there, so they can say, look, Israel is the only safe space for you, come and join us. You can check this out. Project Alibaba is a real thing. I'll just show you. They named it because these Israelis originally are not from Israel. They are from Poland. Yeah, it's fucking infuriating. So, yes, you are. So the thing is, within generally the Western-ish world, if you are not someone who is actively reading about history, all of this information is never getting to you. Everything comes sanitized. Whenever they are talking about whatever is happening in Gaza, for example, they call it a war. When Israeli missiles kill children, they call it casualties. They don't call it like Israel is. They will never tell you that Israel has drones that literally shoot running children as young as 5-year-olds in the back of their heads. They will never tell you that. You have to go out and read it yourself. Because the media right now is controlled. The media right now is controlled by the same people who are funding an ongoing genocide. The media right now is controlled by the same people who are attacking and invading Iran. Why is the act of Hamas sanitized also? It is not. It is really not. What do you mean? It is not sanitized. Also, okay, I'm just going to ask you, do you believe in the statute by the United Nations on what do you call like freedom fighters, or what do you call colonization or genocide? Do you believe in the laws placed by the United Nations? Yes or no? Do you believe in the Geneva Convention? That is all I'm going to ask you before I continue. If you say, okay, so you say yes. If you believe it, then Hamas is a freedom fighting movement. By their own standards, Hamas is not a terrorist organization. Because Palestine has been in colonial occupation by the Israelis since 1948. They have been constantly expanding and killing people. So by that logic, Hamas is a freedom fighting group because they're fighting for their freedom, quite literally. we will agree on most of the, no, obviously. This is just me explaining for people who, because people watch this later. So I'm like, I have to explain for them too. So it's fine. Okay. So I'll explain, Kayla, why doesn't Israel take over? They have addressed this question. You can both terrorists attacking civilians. You can be both terrorism and attacking civilians. I'm not sorry. I understand, but yeah. So what I was saying was, Israel has been occupying the land since a very long time, and even then, Hamas is being called a terrorist organization and offensive and whatever. The narrative is not being sanitized. I do not agree with October 7 either. Like, I don't like people dying in general, but you have to think a bit more critically for the entire thing. Okay, I don't like October 7, but I'm not gonna ignore the history of Israel and Palestine since 1948. It's okay, Kalology. The reason why Israel can't just take over and get over with it is because they had this conversation before. They had this conversation before where they said why they can't take over. Because if they take over and if they kill a certain, even if they kill a certain amount of population, the population of Arabs in the region was still higher than the Israelis, rather than, as compared to the Ashkenazi Jews. That's why they said they will not be able to take over immediately, because if they do, they will be in the minority and they don't want that. That's why they're slowly killing off children. So the next generation are smaller and smaller and smaller. That's how they want to take over. That's why they just can't take over and get over with it. And this is not me saying. They have said this in interviews multiple times. All you need to do is go out and check. No. Arabs have a very strong identity for themselves. They also do not want brown Arabs to be there. Israel itself has a caste system like in India, where Ashkenazi Jews, Zionist Jews are on the top. Ethiopian Jews, black Jews, brown Jews are at the bottom. Arab Jews are somewhere in the middle. If IDL gave up their arms, what do you think will happen? Literally nothing will happen. I swear to you, no one will attack them. Literally no one. If they just say, I'm not going to attack, we are not going to colonize Gaza anymore, no one is going to attack them. So most of them will probably be sent back to Europe, where they should have been in the first place. Ben 9, I'm not going to say that out loud. But yes. Sure. I should probably do this. I'm sorry. But in some cases, I do agree. I don't think, no, not anymore. They won't treat them so kindly. Yes, but not any, okay, they are the oppressor in the region. Obviously, they are not going to treat them nicely now. They would have treated them nicely. See, even after, do you not know how Israel was created? Tell me you know how Israel was created. Why the wars happened. Israel is a colony. They were supposed to give that land back. British were supposed to give that land back to the Palestinians by law. Potential Jews are not welcome in here. Yeah, I know. But because of Israel, because see, Jews are not welcome anywhere is because of Zionists. Because Zionists keep saying that Zionist and Judaism is the same thing, which is not. They keep saying anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism is the same thing, which is not. No. They are not forced there. By any means, they are not forced to live in Israel. By the way, most of Jews that are like Zionists right now are currently not in Israel. They live in America or Europe. Everyone has dual citizenship. Anyway, so Yom Kippur War, no, that is just false. That is just false. That is literally just false. I am sorry if you have been meant to think that. They are welcome literally everywhere. Guys, they literally are current Israelis. Like, Zionism is one of the major connecting factor between US politics. Seriously. Zionists are welcome everywhere. The point here is that during when Israel was created, the land was supposed to go back to the Palestinians after British colonization and French colonization. They sold it to the Rothschilds for $1. No, the land was sold, like Palestinian land was sold to the Zionist lobby. It wasn't even sold to the Jews. It was sold to the Palestinian lobby. Not even joking. They sold it. They were supposed to give it back to the Arabs. Jews in Arabia, in the Middle East, were living peacefully. You can read about this on Wikipedia. No, it is just right there. You don't need a special book or anything. It was sold to the Rothschilds. Jews were living peacefully in Arab nations. That's why Project Alibaba was a thing. It was called offensive Zionism. Offensive Zionism makes, like, the idea behind offensive Zionism is that what you are, like, we will bomb every country around us to incite hate against the Jews. So the Jews move to Israel thinking it is the only land that keeps them safe. That is a Zionist narrative. And it has been there for the longest time. That narrative that Jews have nowhere else to go is a problem. Did you know Russia carved out its own land known as the Jewish region so Jews can live there? Also, the roots of Netanyahu are literally Poland. I can go there in a 4-hour drive to wherever he used to live because I'm currently not in India. Do you think that, oh yes, I'm sorry, Bliss, I'll get back to the topic. We have lots more to cover. I know. Do you think Ashkenazi Jews that came from Poland would not have loved to go back to Poland? Bibi Netanyahu's family speaks Polish. I can speak to him in Polish. The thing here is that also it's not even true that Jews were transported there. Zionists literally chose people who were healthy enough and not affected by the war enough to move them to Israel to build the nation. They have a place. They were given so many different places. They were given Australia. They were given part of Texas. The Zionist lobby denied all of this. Literally all of this. Should an ethnic group be allowed their own land? That is my last question. I will ask you again, are Jews an ethnic group or a religious group? Because if you talk about ethnicity, Ashkenazi Jews are white. They are not brown. They can live in Poland. Please, like, they can live in Poland. They can live in Russia. That's where they are from. They are Ukrainian descent. That's the ethnic group there. There's a reason why there is so much high amounts of skin cancer in Israel. If you're talking about a religious group, the religious group already existed within the region of the Middle East. It was living extremely peacefully with Arabs. How Christians used to treat Jews was not how Arabs treated Jews. Arabs were treated with a lot of respect. That's why Israel had to do Project Alibaba, goddammit. Literally, read about Project Alibaba, read about Project Flying Carpet. The information is available and books are available on Discord. Go through them. It is crazy how much shit that they have done and how much propaganda they have spread. Again, we have to get back to the matter at hand.
the long-serving Israeli prime minister has made it very clear that he's wanted an end to the regime for a long time. The Americans have never fully brought into that. You referred to the idea that, or the risk that there's a rally around the flag. I think you need to be a little bit, we all need to be a little bit careful here. I think the regime is rotten to the core. I think there is immense public opposition, disillusion. The economy is a basket case. The regime is oppressive, very oppressive. There was slaughter of the protesters earlier this year. But
I wonder if this fucker is going to say the same thing about the US regime killing people on the street through ICE. Also, our dear Jai Shankar spoke out finally. Our dear external minister, Jai Shankar. He's speaking to Israeli Finance Minister Gideon Sar this afternoon. Brother, speak to Iran as well if you want a diplomatic solution. But fucker is not going to do any of that.
And but the regime is not just comprised of.
Pap, I have to go. Thank you so much for the chat. I'll subscribe when you get monetized or whatever. Thank you so much. I promise I will try not to get arrested by the Indian government. Always, you're always welcome. You're already on the Discord, so you're not, like, I'll chat with you whenever you want. Discord is like, I'm there, like, I'm rotting on Discord most of the day anyway.
Of the military or the Revolutionary Guard, they also have guards, the Basirs, who are armed.
See you soon.
They have spies everywhere. So this is not an easy regime to replace, and also who is going to replace a regime if it did topple. All these are very unclear. But I think you need to be a little bit careful about suggesting that everybody would rally around the flag just in case of this attack.
But you don't need everyone to rally around the flag. What you need is the patriotism of the Iranian people to be hurt by what the Americans and Israelis are doing. After all, now the Israelis are under attack. Sorry, the Iranians are under attack. They will feel threatened. They may want their regime changed, but they want to do it themselves rather than at the behest of the Americans or the Israelis. That's the danger he's running.
Well, patriotism will play some role here, but as I said, the regime is very unpopular. It has not delivered any economic benefits. There's corruption is rife, and I think it's deeply unpopular. But there is, and this is where you're correct, Karen, I mean, pick a number, but certainly 30% or so of the people in Iran are some way tied to the regime. Their economic dependencies here. There's security connections. All these things make it both brittle, but also not just something you can sweep away.
Trump has also, in that 8-minute video that he put out on Truth Social, said that the second object is to destroy Iran's missiles. He actually said he wants to raise the missile industry to the ground. Do you think he can actually do that? Because Iran has a huge stockpile of missiles, including hypersonic missiles. And the danger is, if it starts unleashing the hypersonics on Israel, which it's bound to do,
which it should do, to be honest with you.
Iron Dome doesn't necessarily protect Israel.
Again, this is high risk, but they will attempt to do extraordinary damage to the missile capability. And remember, if you go back more than 10 years, the agreement, the JCPO agreement, in which the Europeans were involved to limit and contain Iran's nuclear program, that was a deal without context. There was no agreement on the missile capability, which does directly threaten Israel.
There was all of this. JCPOA was an amazing thing. He's just sucking up to Trump.
Israel. Let's be clear about that, as well as US forces in the region. But there was no deal there, no deal on curbing the behavior of terrorist organizations like Hezbollah. This was a pure nuclear deal. It wasn't perfect, but it didn't address these wider security threats. So Trump is going to go attempt to go after them. And it's likely to last, by the way, Karen. This is not going to be over in 24 hours or 48 hours. It's going to be longer.
Absolutely. And Iran has already told Reuters this morning that their response will be crushing. Earlier, they've made it crystal clear that if they're attacked, they will take their revenge on American bases in the Gulf and the wider Middle East. We could end up not just with a prolonged war, but with a very serious regional war. Do you believe that would be justified by the Americans to provoke?
Well, again, you're over your skis here. We're not in a regional war. We're speculating at this point. I think it's quite possible that Trump may pull back. I don't think he wants to get involved in a wider war. It could spiral out of control, but I think they're going to inflict very heavy punishment for a number of days. They're also going, by the way, it appears, after key figures in the regime as well to weaken it. And then they're going to see what happens on the ground with the people. Will there be an uprising? So we're not
But
there.
aren't you ignoring the fact that the Iranians have promised a crushing response?
Well, they've promised a lot, and they promised.
Well, I mean, this was made when the response wasn't so crushing, but now we can see they're attacking literally everyone.
A lot. They've made a lot of big talk. They promised a lot if Hezbollah were attacked, and the fact is they haven't maybe been able to come through because it's a very much weakened regime. Yes, they have missile capacity. Yes, they may try. They launched hundreds of missiles against Israel earlier last year. They didn't go through. So there was some damage. So I think this regime, as I say, it's not beaten. It's still dangerous, but I wouldn't take everything that they say at face value.
Let me quote Vali Nasser, a professor at Johns Hopkins University in America.
Guys, Tel Aviv is getting bombarded. I mean, they started this. I have no love for Tel Aviv right now. There's none whatsoever.
And one of the world's acknowledged authorities on Iran and Iranian politics, writing for your former paper, the Financial Times, on the 20th, he said that Iran will not only riposte mightily, to use his words, but we could end up with a prolonged war because Iran will believe the longer the war lasts, the better its chances of an improved negotiation stance with America. And Trump has already admitted in his Truth video that there could be American casualties. Will that work at home for Trump?
It's a high risk, as I said, a high risk gambit. He's talked about an end to forever wars. He won't want to put boots on the ground. There may well be casualties in the ships defending Israel. This is a high risk enterprise, a high risk gambit. But we don't know at this point where it's leading. We do know. So I just feel at this point, let's see how fast and how far it escalates. Remember, just one last point, Khan. Every time the Iranians escalate, at least in the
Iranians don't escalate. The people responding and getting bombed who did the attacks first are not the ones that are escalating.
Short term, there will be an overwhelming and high response from the Israelis and Americans. There's risk there.
But if Iranian hypersonic missiles start targeting Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Haifa, and who knows, if Iranian hypersonic missiles can hit American ships or even an American aircraft carrier, that could escalate this war hugely. And then, of course, there is the possibility that Iran will deliberately target American bases in Bahrain, in Qatar, in Kuwait, in Iraq. All of those are targets that the Iranians have said they'll go for. And if they believe that their own regime's survival is at stake, they will do everything to continue to survive.
Well, why didn't they take those actions when America attacked their nuclear facilities? Why didn't they take that action when their nuclear scientists were assassinated? by the Israelis. I mean, they have to calculate if we escalate too far too fast, then it really does become existential for us. So I'm not so sure that, but we're speculating here. We need to see how this plays out in the next 48 hours.
Tell me, how will the rest of the world view what Israel and America have done, particularly if this becomes a prolonged war and it becomes a regional war? Do you think Europe would support what the Americans have done? Do you think Asia and Africa would support them? Or is Trump's credibility also coming on the line?
No, everybody understands that this is an evil regime. It's deeply oppressive. It's been dangerous. It's used proxies to sow terror in the Middle East. Nobody has any vote.
Is he talking about Israel or Iran? Because he's talking about Israel, I guess. I think he's not wrong if he's talking about Israel. Iran, on the other hand, kind of just exists and doesn't want to be bothered.
Votes for this regime, but there will be a great deal of nervousness because let's see what happens to the oil price. This could be
even here, he gives a shit only about the oil price, guys. This is the kind of a guy you avoid.
Stabilizing. Certainly, the Saudis will be very nervous about this. They didn't want military action to take place. The British, well, they'll be nervous. They don't have any sentimental views towards Iran, but they'll be nervous, and the Europeans will look at Trump as a rogue actor.
Isn't that an easy target for Iran to attack Saudi, Kuwaiti, Iraqi oil facilities? They've done it earlier, they could do it again, and they could also try and block the Strait of Hormuz. That would choke off 20% of the world's oil, and rising oil prices would affect American midterm election results.
Well, again, they did that attack on the Saudi oil installations. Well,
guys, Thomas Massey with the rescue here, the only other Republican who has been standing up to Trump on the Epstein files. That is good. Seriously, Mick. If Republicans want to run and want to win next election, he needs to be the candidate. I fucking swear to you.
Happened 8 or so.
He's a fucking asshole when it comes to like trans rights of normal people, but again, still better than Trump.
Attempt to block the Straits of Hormuz again, I believe, would be met with force by the Americans. I think the real question I would ask before we get into all this speculation about regional wars, whatever that means, is will Trump attempt to go kinetic and lots of pyrotechnics as a prelude to renewed negotiations from a weakened Iran, or does he keep upping the ante? We don't know that. You can't take everything that Trump says at face value. I can tell you one thing, he won't be wanting to fight a war on the eve of the midterm elections, that's for sure.
Trump is obviously hoping that this will be Venezuela a second time round. What if it ends up becoming Afghanistan and Libya instead?
Oh, but again, you're reaching for these parallels, which are just imprecise. Venezuela was quite different. It was essentially a raid leading to an abduction of a Venezuelan, the president. And now they're working with the existing regime. This is not regime change.
The point I was making, Mr. Barber, is that
Afghanistan involved thousands of American troops on the ground. That's not going to happen in Iran.
The point I was making that Venezuela was clean, swift, and successful. Afghanistan was prolonged, messy, and unsuccessful. Libya was just messy and unsuccessful. And an attempt to change the regime in Iran could easily end up the Afghan and Libyan way. And that would create a mess.
It is going to be the Afghan and Libyan way because Venezuela's setup is top-down. Venezuela, you take out the top person, it's gone. So that's why Darcy is the current president of Venezuela. This is going to go the Afghanistan way because the regime needs to change, not just the top.
Not just in Iran, but in the whole region, which is why the Egyptians and the Saudis are so deeply concerned about what he's done.
Well, the Libyan example to me is perhaps the most attractive one because, as you say, the removal of Gaddafi and the fall of that regime actually created immense instability in North Africa, spreading down to the Sahel, and led to an immigration wave. And we really are in a weaker place, in a worse place than we were when Gaddafi was there, because he was bottled up as his nuclear program had also been taken off the table. So I think that's where you want to look and say, wait a minute, if we do try and break the regime and there's a civil war in Iran, that really would, it's not a regional war, it's more just chaos throughout the region. And that is disturbing. I would have thought India, your home country, would also have some interesting
But
views
that's
on.
the gamble Trump has very blithely taken this morning.
Well, he's taken a gamble because he's been led, in my view, to this place by Mr. Netanyahu, whose position has been absolutely clear that he wanted an end to the Iranian regime. He sees it as an existential threat. And if you read and listen to the video that Trump made, there's an awful lot of Israeli Netanyahu language in there.
Absolutely, but you're not suggesting that the American president has ended up the Israeli prime minister's poodle.
I mean, 13,000 times in the Epstein files, more videos to come, accused of murdering a child, allegedly.
Oh, poodle is a rather loaded term, and I don't use loaded terms. I think that Trump has chosen at this point to follow Netanyahu. Netanyahu had no interest in a narrow nuclear deal, which was JCPOA dressed up. So Trump, for his own reasons, has gone. Sorry, Trump has followed Netanyahu. Yes, but I'm not saying he's been completely led by the nose.
This is the second time round that the Israeli tail has wagged the American dog. It happened in June last year as well.
No, in June, I believe that Trump saw an opening where he could come in on the back of an Israeli attack with the regime very weakened and go for using bunker buster bombs to attack the nuclear program. By the way, he said it was obliterated. It's clearly not, because he's still talking about the nuclear
Quite
program.
right, he was clearly wrong.
Yeah, and some of the intelligence estimates in America made that very clear.
And the other thing that he's mistaken is that the resilience of the Iranian regime may be a lot more than he actually believes is the case. That's the next gamble he's taken.
Well, again, we'll have to see how things play out in the next, I would say, 48 hours to a week, to see the intent, whether the attacks continue at their current intensity, and then what the response is of the Iranian people.
All right, Mr. Baba, I thank you for the time you've given me. I'm extremely grateful to you. Take care. Stay safe. My next guest is India's former ambassador to Israel and former High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and former ambassador to the United States, Navtej Sadna. Mr. Sadna joins us after the break.
Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope spoken a lot.
Ambassador to the USA, Navtej Sadna. Mr. Sadna, how do you view the US-Israeli joint attack on Iran that began a couple of hours earlier today?
Well, thank you, Karan. I think we are in the early stages of this. Obviously, it's what we have to go by is the attack itself and President Donald Trump's statement as to why he's doing it. Frankly, it's been indicated by the buildup that's been happening all this time. And I think it's going to be, it looks like it's a full-scale attack and that they are pitching definitely for regime change in Iran. That's reading President Trump's statement shows you that. So far, I don't think there's been any retaliation.
No, there has. Forgive me.
The BBC has reported that Iran has already struck American bases in Bahrain,
Right.
Kuwait,
So
Iraq. And the
when I
British
last
High
saw it, it
Commission and
wasn't.
Embassy in Abu Dhabi has warned British citizens in the UAE to stay safe, that there are reports of explosions which are so far unconfirmed in Abu Dhabi. So, yes, Iran has lived up to its claim that it would respond with a crushing response.
So let's wait to see how it goes because it's moving by the minute. I had missed this last development. But yes, at least 15 countries have asked their citizens to move out from different places. So we have to see how it goes and how
But
strong
tell
is the
me, this is the
victory.
big question. Iran has promised repeatedly that if attacked by America and Israel, it will attack American bases in the Gulf, and it's begun to do so. Does this now look to you as if it's likely to become a regional war that engulfs the Middle East as a whole?
But that is a danger, Karan, and that is why a lot of the regional countries had advocated against such a move, including the Arab countries, many of the Arab countries. We will have to see how long this retaliation can carry on. How strong is the attack? President Trump seems to say that they're going to finish the missile program. He already says they've obliterated the nuclear program. What are the casualties in the top leadership? We don't know, and we will have to see how that goes because Iran's response will ultimately depend upon its systems and its capabilities. It is a well-entrenched regime, and it may not be so easy as just taking away one person.
Absolutely. Let's look at the two explanations Trump made in his 8-minute video on Truth Social released early this morning. First, he claimed that the American intention was to destroy Iran's missiles. His exact words were he wants to raise the missile industry in Iran to the ground. Do you think he can? Iran has a huge stock of missiles, and its hypersonic missiles can actually not necessarily protect Israel through the Iron Dome. So it is a lethal thing that he's attempting to do.
Well, it's not going to be easy because, as they say, it's not a Venezuela. And it's not going to be easy. It has a well-developed ballistic missile program and stockpiles. And so we will have to see how much of that they can decapitate or incapacitate. I mean, we don't actually even know how much was the damage the last time around on the nuclear program. Of course, Trump says it's over, but if it was over, then what were the negotiations all about? So obviously there are factors here which we don't know. And so we'll have to see how much of the missile capacity is damaged and damaged so badly that there is no retaliation.
The
We don't know
BBC
yet.
is already reporting that sirens are going off in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv, over Haifa. Clearly, the Israelis are also hitting back and suffering as well.
Well, the sirens have been going on since the morning, and they've gone into an emergency mode. So naturally, there are standard operating procedures once you launch an attack, and Israel will definitely be preparing for retaliation.
Is there a danger that serious targets could be hit as far as America's military armada in the Gulf is concerned? After all, Israel may be confident that it can protect itself. Can America's shipping be protected against Iranian ballistic missiles? It only takes a drone
Apparently not.
or a missile to hit a ship to create casualties and damage. And although Trump has admitted there would be American casualties, that would provoke anger.
It's so fun watching this, like after everything has gone on. After everything has gone on, like going on, and this was recorded, a few hours ago. It's so fun that all of this is like, all of the concerns Karan Thapar have been realized.
In America.
Well, that part of President Trump's statement is indicative of what he can expect, and it's not his usual kind of statement. So obviously he's preparing ground for some loss of life, which might happen, and certainly the range, I'm sure, is covered by Iranian missiles. The capacity to pierce whatever protection the ships have and whatever electronic protection is covered by various technological defenses. We don't know if they can get through in that. But then, yes, now it's war, and they're going in
for the kill. So I think they are obviously prepared for a definitely. I'd be surprised if they thought there would be no retaliation from Iran.
In that Truth Social video that Trump put out this morning, not only does he claim that his intention is to destroy Iran's missile and raise its missile industry to the ground, he also talks very openly and at length about wanting the Iranian people to rise up and take control of the government. He even says this may be the only opportunity they get. Do you really believe that the Iranians will respond to the call of an American president to overthrow their government? Might they not instead rally to the flag? Is he not, in a sense, playing with the patriotism of the Iranian people and hoping that he can turn them against their own government? That's a risky thing to try to do.
Well, there have been problems inside Iran, and there is a lot of anger and a lot of displeasure with the regime. Having said that, there is also always the possibility of people saying, "Okay, if we want to do regime change, we do it ourselves. No thanks to you." But we have the factor of people calling for regime change from outside, including the Pahlavi Prince, who's from Maryland. We also have the factor of a widespread regime entrenched in Iran, the IRGC and all that. How much of that persists in defiance? How much of that sort of turns over towards the people? We can't say at the moment. We've seen this kind of stuff in Iraq. We've seen it in Libya. And at the moment, there is no saying which way this thing would go. It's simply not going to be removal of one person. That's what I'm saying. It's a full top leadership, the full establishment, which is financial, which is security, which is police, which is military. All that has to collapse, or all that has to go against the Islamic Republic.
Two questions that follow from what you're saying. If this is a definite attempt by the Americans and the Israelis to change the entire regime, not just the leadership at the top, but the entire structure that's been built up by the Ayatollah regime, then that regime will fight back with everything it's got. It will not hesitate to make this a regional war. It won't hesitate to try and take out Saudi, Iraqi shipping and oil. And
Jesus, Karan Thapar is on the damn point. Like, ooh. I think that is what comes with like having this much white hair that your eyebrows go fucking white. Like that's like we're watching this after a few hours and that's so much on point. Jesus, I love Karan Thapar.
And it might even seek to block the Straits of Hormuz. Are we therefore facing a regional crisis that will get worse and worse as the time goes by, and a prolonged war as well?
Well, I don't think this certainly not in Donald Trump's vision to have a prolonged war. He wants a quick win. He wants a quick in and out.
Can he get one?
And he may not be able to get one, but he must have calculated on the basis of his briefings and the Israeli briefings as to what they're expecting. He certainly is not the kind of president who wants another forever war, and he's made it very clear. He wants a quick...
He has made it clear, but like trusting Trump is just weird.
Quick win and register it. Whether he can deliver it in
Okay, this has stopped again.
Iran, we can't say. It will depend entirely on their capacity. We must remember.
It will depend entirely on the Iranian response as well.
That's exactly what I'm saying, on the Iranian capacity. We must remember that Iran has been considerably weakened. Its proxies have been weakened over the last 2 years. Its own in the last June attacks, its own capacity has been weakened. So what it can actually do across the Middle East, or how much would it want to do, I think at this stage is a little early to say.
Last night, I was talking to one of the great American scholars of Iran, Professor Walid Nasser at Johns Hopkins University, and he told me that he believes that Iran will seek a prolonged war because the longer the Americans are locked into a conflict, the easier it will be for the Iranians to negotiate with the Americans, because the Americans will then be worried about the length of the conflict and the casualties they or their allies may be suffering. Iran, therefore, he believes, will play for a long war and not hesitate to target Saudi or Iraqi or even UAE oil installations, not hesitate, of course, to target Israel itself, and not hesitate perhaps to block the Straits of Hormuz or even attempt drone and missile attacks on the American Armada. All of that suggests that we could have a very, very serious crisis on our hands, with inflation going up, with the war getting worse, and with midterm elections not that far away. Trump might begin to suddenly worry, has he let himself into a hornet's nest?
Well, entirely agree with what you have summarized of Ali Nasser's analysis. That would be the pattern that Iran would like to follow if the regime hangs together. And that is a pattern which has been done in the past. Each one of those things that you mentioned, including hitting oil installations, has been done before. But for that, the regime has to make sure or want to hang together and do it. Now, the indications are that the regime is too wide and too well entrenched not to hang together. But again, it depends upon the kind of force that is unleashed on them. It depends upon the kind of success that the American-Israeli bombing has. But you're right, the objectives of the two sides are not going to be aligned. While the Americans might want a quick in and out, the Iranians would fight to the end if they retained the Iranian regime. They would have to see what happens with the vis-a-vis the people. They would have to see what happens within the regime, how much of it begins to crumble and how much stays.
This crisis began this morning, Saturday. Till Thursday evening, our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, was in Israel. He undertook a two-day trip on Wednesday and Thursday, and it happened at a time when the world was expecting, anticipating, or at least speculating that there could be American, possibly Israeli military action against Iran. Did the Prime Minister err in visiting Israel at this critical juncture?
But Karan, I don't think I'm going to get into that speculation. All I will say is that when
it's not a speculation, I'm asking for your opinion.
No, my opinion is that when a visit of this nature is planned, all the factors around the place or all the information that is available is taken into consideration. And as you said, this was something which was on the cards. So the fact that there could be a possible attack on Iran before would have been taken into consideration when planning the Prime Minister's visit.
But was the Prime Minister ill-advised by his Foreign Minister and Foreign Secretary to go ahead with it? After all, it's not unusual for circumstances to lead to heads of government changing their plans. Visits have changed and been dropped before.
I think the objectives of the visit, and I can only direct you to the Foreign Secretary's briefing after the visit, which gives all the details of the objectives and the reasons for the visit and what all was achieved, both on a bilateral track as well as on a regional track. They had their reasons for going in at this stage, and that is
no doubt they had their reasons. I'm not denying that. But won't it look to many as if by visiting Israel on the eve of this very controversial attack on Iran, and remember, Iran is a traditional old ally of India, we have our interests in Chabahar port, let's not forget that. Won't it look to the Iranians, to many in the Arab world, won't it look to many in the global south, that India was in a silent but sure way endorsing what Israel intended to do?
I think that is entirely speculation, and I'm not in agreement with that.
So was it wise to have visited in your
No, it was not wise to have visited.
As I keep saying,
India becomes, like, as usual, the butt of the joke here.
I have no internal knowledge. All I can go by is what the Foreign Secretary has said on record. And from there, he has painted it as a very successful visit, and he has mentioned the very
He would hardly say the opposite, would he, Mr. Sarna? He could never say this was a controversial visit and not successful.
I think then you need to interview him.
My last question. Has India's standing in the global south suffered by the timing of this visit and the fact that the message we've sent out is that we're closer to Israel than we are either to Palestine or Iran? That's the message. Whether it's intended or not is another matter. But would India's standing in the global south have suffered? With South Africa, with Brazil, with the African countries, with our own close allies in the Arab world? Would our standing have suffered?
I think that's our entire foreign policy. And in fact, the foreign policies of most countries today are in a churn. They are relating to each other at a very different level than really standing for certain ideological issues or standing in certain blocks. I think at the moment, there's so much churn, particularly in the Middle East, that so many countries are trying to see what they can do best on a transactional and a bilateral basis. And also new partnerships are forming. We've seen Pakistan, Turkey.
This computer has just stopped working at this point. I think it can't handle more.
It's intended or not is another matter. But would India standing in the global south have suffered? With South Africa, with Brazil, with the African countries, with our own close allies in the Arab world? Would our standing have suffered?
I think that's our entire foreign policy. And in fact, the foreign policies of most countries today are in a churn. They are relating to each other at a very different level than really standing for certain ideological issues or standing in certain blocks. I think at the moment, there's so much churn, particularly in the Middle East, that so many countries are trying to see what they can do best on a transactional and a bilateral basis. And also new partnerships are forming. We've seen Pakistan, Turkey, Qatar forming a partnership. So I think all that is in the play. So I think it's a time of considerable movement. And in fact, in the last 6 hours, it's got worse.
So you're saying the world will understand even if it doesn't forgive?
You said that, I didn't say it.
But you're not disagreeing.
How much can I disagree with you?
I thank you, Mr. Sadna, for having agreed to do this interview. I'm extremely grateful to you for your time. Take care.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Guys, just give me a second. What is happening? Did we? Did. Guys, I think good shout. We are, how much we are at? Hold up. We are at 4 hours. So I think we are going to stop here. We will continue this tomorrow. We'll be back around the same time because I think the time really works. And we will talk more about this and see how it goes throughout the night. If anything major happens, we'll be back. But if it's nothing, maybe not. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for coming here. Thank you so much for all the new people. Good night. Stay safe. Tabak khair.